Mo mà kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ojúlówó àti ògidì ọmọ Yorùbá jákèjádò orígun mẹ́rin àgbáyé. Àjíǹde ara máa jẹ́ fún gbogbo wa o, ní agbára Ọlọ́run ọba Olódùmarè. Àní ṣìṣe, àní kàgbákò, àní bọ́ sọ́wọ́ àwọn ọ̀tá. Lágbára Ọlọ́run gbọ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lókèèrè, tẹ́ wà ní diaspora, láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà gbogbo ilẹ̀ máa kéré oko délé o. Ilé tí mo mí ń gbé orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá á wá sí ìmúṣẹ. Ẹ kú ìfojúsọ́nà, yóò dáa fún yín o. Mo kí bàbá wa ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tó jùlọ ọlọ́lá jùlọ Professor Banji Akintoye, mo kí yín ẹ kú iṣẹ́. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tẹ́ wà ní YSDM. Mo dẹ̀ kí olóyè wa Ìgbòho-òòṣà Sunday Adéníyì ọmọ Adéyẹmọ, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ìlú. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kò ní dójú tì wá o. Ọlọ́run Olódùmarè kò ní jẹ́ kó dójú tì wá. Agitation yìí náà, ìjàngbara tá à ń ṣe àní kò ní já síkú fún ẹnì kankan nínú wa. Lágbára Ọlọ́run tayọ̀tayọ̀ la fi gba ìlú wa padà. Mo ju article kan síta just some couple of minutes ago. The title was Why Nigeria Must Break Up by Remi Oyeyemi. It was a very, very powerful article, and that is ara àwọn tonic that need láti wà charge up, or so that we can be recharged fully to embark on this journey with all our heart, our mind, and our soul. Kò yẹ kí ojúlówó àti ògidì ọmọ Yorùbá kankan tó bá ka article yẹn kó tún máa wẹ̀yìn. Wọ́n ní àkè wọnú omi odò ká máa bẹ̀rù òtútù. Ẹ wo nǹkan tí Remi Oyeyemi sọ ńbẹ̀ yẹn, ẹ̀yin náà ẹ kà á. Ìdí tí mo fi ń follow up pẹ̀lú ilé ni pé mo fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká pé kẹ́ ẹ share article yìí far and wide, so that àwọn tí ò bá tí wà convinced, especially àwọn tí wọ́n láwọn ṣì zùrọ̀ mọ́ one Nigeria. Ẹ wo nǹkan tí bàbá yìí sọ ńbẹ̀, kò tún sí bí a bá rángẹ́lì wá sórílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, nǹkan tó máa sọ ló ti sọ. This man is an angel sent by God. This Remi Oyeyemi, I don't know him, but when I got the article, I was fascinated. I was excited. I said, wow, this is kind of, prompting. A gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ pé ìlú Nàìjíríà yìí kò sí àǹfààní, kò sí ìwúlò kankan tó lè ṣe fún any tribe, except every tribe goes their way. So mo fẹ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá mọ̀ bó bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe bá wa pín dé National Assembly, kó dé ọ̀dọ̀ gbogbo gọ́fúnà orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá, kó dé ọ̀dọ̀ Tinubu, ìyàwó ẹ̀ àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá wa táàgì wọn pátápátá. Ẹ má jẹ́ kó gbẹ̀yìn, ẹ jẹ́ kán kà á pé gbogbo gbàgbàgbà wọn futility, gbogbo àwọn pè ní attempt in futility ni, kò sí èso kankan tó máa jáde. In the next 150 billion years táyé bá ń jáyé, Nàìjíríà ò lè jẹ́ Nàìjíríà. Tó bá àwọn country tó bá ṣe ń progress forward, Nigeria will be going backward retrogressively ni. Now we are 200 years behind civilization. Why? Kò sí ná at this age, at this time. One, kò sí security. People cannot work freely. People cannot go to farm. Gbogbo àwọn àgbẹ̀, àwọn tí wọ́n kó wa pẹ̀lú àwọn maniac tí wọ́n kó wa pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tí wọ́n pè ní Fúlàní. Ṣé wọ́n fẹ́ kí a máa jẹ yanrìn ní àbí igi? Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ lọ sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀wù bọ́n ṣe ń pa àwọn àgbẹ̀ ní North. And is this how Nigeria should continue? And they expect us to fold our hands and be looking. So ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá, this is a clarion call. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá gbàgbọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀, ẹ̀ka article yìí. Excuse me, sorry. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá gbàgbọ́ ẹ̀ka. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ bá ti bá àwọn èèyàn sọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n ń ṣe gbọ́nkú, ẹ má bá wọn sọ anything. Ẹ ju article yìí sí wọn, káwọn fúnra ara wọn kà á. Tá a bá ṣì ń ṣe bákan mi pé àwọn irú ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ wọn ò ń ṣe original ọmọ Yorùbá. Ẹ ti rí ẹ̀jẹ̀ Fúlàní nínú wọn. Adé àkójẹ́ bàbá wọn ni Fúlàní, tí àwọn jẹ́ Yorùbá. bí ọ̀gá wa tòkè ọ̀hún ẹ̀mọ́ tí mò ń wí olórí oko pátá bàbá Fúlàní ìyá Yorùbá so báwo lẹ ṣe fẹ́ káwọn yẹn ká gbé ìgbésẹ̀ láti ṣe pé Yorùbá wá sí ìmúṣẹ àwa fúnra wa la máa jẹ ìjà yìí o ẹ̀yin ojúlówó àti ògidì ọmọ Yorùbá àwa fúnra wa la ní iṣẹ́ ṣe Fúlàní ò ní bá a ṣe o Ìgbò ò ní bá a ṣe o àwa la máa ṣe nǹkan wa o British government ò ní ṣe o wọn ò ní dá sí o Amẹ́ríkà hálè làwọn ẹ̀ máa fi dá sí so ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ẹ jẹ́ á gbé ìgbésẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ á ka átíkù yìí ká máa pín lóòrèkóòrè kéèyàn kan kó pín séèyàn mẹ́wàá kéèyàn mẹ́wàá kó pín séèyàn mẹ́wàá by the time tá a bá máa fi pín bóyá millions and millions of people will be convinced beyond all reasonable doubt again kí n tó mú ètò wá sí ẹ má gbàgbé Ọ̀rànmíyàn 10 ẹ wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn tá à ń dá lóṣooṣù ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa la ti gbọ́ tá a ṣe bí ẹni pa ò gbọ́ the question is what is your part in this project ipa wo ló ń kó what impact are you creating are you just sitting down sit down look nígbà tá a bá dẹ̀ gbà tán ẹ̀yin náà máa proud pé yes ọmọ Yorùbá ògidì ni mí ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà but right now when we need you when the nation calls for your what do you call it fún ipa tí wọ́n lè kó kò dákẹ́ òun wòran èló la ní kẹ́ ẹ dá lóṣù 10 naira òun náà ṣe ń pè ní Ọ̀rànmíyàn 10 ẹ wá Ọ̀rànmíyàn 10 ẹ ní wá ibi ẹ ní wá àìsàn ẹ ní wá ìbànújẹ́ ire ayọ̀ àti àánú lẹ́ẹ̀ máa wá kiri gbogbo ọjọ́ ayé yín lórúkọ Ọlọ́run ọba Olódùmarè èló ni 10 naira 10 naira ò tiẹ̀ sí mọ́ mi rò pé 20 naira gan wà why don't we try and make it 100 naira every month ilẹ̀ wa leléyìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àlà ń lọ church ká máa dá ìdá mẹ́wàá ìdá ogún ìdá ọgbọ̀n and they will force you to pay it wọ́n á tún gbé ẹ̀gún lórí níwàá gbogbo sóyìnsì tẹ́tí sọ láti ìjọ ibo ló dé ní Nàìjíríà àwọn èèyàn kàn wọ́n fi yín pawó wọ́n fi yín ra brand new car wọ́n fi yín ra private jet wọ́n ń kọ́ expensive schools pẹ̀lú owó yín tí ò ní gbé yín church wọ̀nyẹn àwọn privately owned ni kò sí nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sí tá máa dá sí òfin Yorùbá nation tá a bá gba Yorùbá nation wa kò sí ká ọmọ máa ń lọ sí school ọ̀fẹ́ ara iṣẹ́ ìtafẹ́ fowó wọ̀nyí ṣe ni health ọ̀fẹ́ diplomatic missions here and there tá a máa lọ bàbá Akintoye ò lè nìkan máa lò wọ ẹ jẹ́ àsowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú wọn please mo bẹ̀ yín ni 100 naira a month kò kéré ju 500 kò kéré ju kékeré gan-an náà ń sọ fún oúnjẹ ń sọ ní dáhùn 1,000 naira tí ó máa pa yín lára ni every month ẹni lè ṣe lára yín tó wà tí mo bá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ lè ṣe even 2 weeks kò ṣe dandan kó jẹ́ monthly ó lè ṣe daily ó lè ṣe weekly ó lè ṣe monthly lẹ́fẹ́ ṣe tí ó lè decide okay every month máa fi 5,000 sínú àkáǹtì yẹn mo lẹ́yìn tí ò bá yé tọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ò bá yé bó ṣe máa ṣe irú kí làkáǹtì yẹn wà kí làkáǹtì number mo ní kẹ́ ẹ WhatsApp mi ọ̀kẹ́ ẹ pè mí ọ̀kẹ́ ẹ send SMS WhatsApp SMS sí mi màá dẹ̀ fún yín lákáǹtì number yẹn I don't want to put it online for one reason or the other ẹ jẹ́ àsowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú kí àwọn Ìgbò ti lọ jìnnà gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́lẹ̀ tí àwọn Ìgbò ń ṣe yẹn ṣe rò pé wọ́n lọ ń fi ewé oko ṣe ni they contribute massively because wọ́n mọ nǹkan tó ń pè ní òmìnira ẹ̀yin ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá ní ẹ̀mọ́ nǹkan tá tí ìròyìn débi pé nǹkan kẹta pè ní òmìnira freedom you are free it's like you are living a life of tenancy tẹ wá kó lọ sílé ara yín you are free this is your own property you can command and control your property that is what Yorùbá nation stands for command and control àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá la máa wà ń bẹ̀ for life president ọmọ Yorùbá vice president ọmọ Yorùbá ministers ọmọ national assembly wa pátá ọmọ Yorùbá ni kò ní sí mixture of Yorùbá Igbo Hausa ìdìbò gbogbo wọn yẹn it is purely 100% Yorùbá ṣé ẹ get kínní ni so why are you dragging your feet ọmọ yín náà ò lè lọ sí school wọn gbogbo ọmọ wà ń gbòòrò wọn ò lè lọ jáde wọn ṣe ìyẹn ò ní sí Yorùbá nation will be full-fledged sovereign powerful industrialized and progressive nation among the world. Sometimes the United Nations General Assembly every year, Yoruba nation will be there because we will have been recognized as a full-fledged sovereign nation. But tábà lówó tá fẹ́ fi ṣe kínní, èmi tí mo bá yín sọ kì í ṣe fún mo jẹun yó. Mi ò ní bọ́tí bá tó ń tó ló tí mo lè ṣe. Every month I'm committed to it. It may be small, but that small náà àìfilẹ̀ ni wọ́n ń pè láhùn. Bí mi ò ná náà, bí mi ò filẹ̀, màá ná síbòmíì ni. So why don't you just decide on your own to say, I am putting so amount on in this project, and close your eyes to it. Every month you say it, you just send it, and then you snapshot this, you snap screen the receipt and send it to Mr. Oyabayo. Màá fún yín gbogbo address àti bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa get in touch tí wọ́n á lè reconcile pẹ̀lú ọ̀dọ̀ wọn. Mo bẹ̀ yín ní orúkọ Ọlọ́run ọba Olódùmarè ẹ̀yẹ ọmọ Yorùbá tó bá jẹ́ lóòótọ́ lẹ jẹ́ ògidì àti ojúlówó ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́ ẹ dẹ̀ ní ìfẹ́ ìlú yìí, tẹ́ ẹ dẹ̀ ní ìfẹ́ àwọn ọmọ tẹ́ ẹ ń bí yìí àtàwọn ọmọ tá a máa bí, tẹ́ ẹ dẹ̀ fẹ́ kán wà nínú ìgbèkùn for life under the ìgbèkùnism òyìnbó tèmi ni of the Fulanis or the oligarchies. Ẹ tètè jáwọ́ sí kinní yìí. We need money for security. We need money for this. We need money for that. Owó ni àní. Kò sẹ́ni tó máa command owó. Àwa ò lè lọ ṣe kí ni a ti ń pè yahoo. A fẹ́ owó ẹ̀jẹ̀. Most of the politicians tẹ́ rí yẹn a fẹ́ owó. Tí wọ́n bá ní clean money kan bí wà á lò ó. Bàbá Akintoye ò ní náwó yín. Àwọn kan ló wà ní ìcharge owó. Àwọn kan ló wà ní ìcharge account. Ìgbòho kan ló wà ní ìcharge account. We have people, eminently qualified people to handle those departments, and they are very transparent. There is going to be what we call transparency, probity, and accountability in Yoruba nation. Transparency hour, accountability hour, probity hour in anything that we do in all spheres of life. So ẹnìkan ò ní kó bílíọ̀nù jẹ táwọn kan máa ń pa kò ní sí yẹn mọ́ ẹ gbogbo àwọn tó wà ń bẹ̀ lẹ́nìí. Kò sí nǹkan nínú wọn tí ò ń ṣe bílíọ̀nìà. Iṣẹ́ òun náà ṣe tán rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwọn kan ń rùn pa, àwa kan ò lè jẹun. Ẹlòmíì irú èmi sì yẹn bóyá ẹ̀kan lójúmọ́ ni oúnjẹ. Kí n pín oúnjẹ yẹn, oúnjẹ ẹ̀kan yẹn kí n pín sí méjì. Màá jẹ ìdajì kékeré láàárọ̀. Màá jẹ ìyókù ní ọwọ́ ìrọ̀lẹ́. Àti tí ò tó jẹ ńkọ́. So mo bẹ̀ yín ni ẹ jẹ́ ká dáwọ́ sí ọ̀ràn míyàn tẹ̀ nìyẹn. Òkèrè gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ fẹ́ ni tẹ́ bá ka átíkù tá a gbé gbogbo síta ìtàn tẹ́ ẹ tún doubt tẹ́ ẹ tún lè gbé ìgbésẹ̀ then ìwọ nu Ọlọ́run ní ìsọjú yín lọ. Ẹ kú ojúmọ́ ó dìgbà kan náà.
Stop.
Koiki Media, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Koiki Media, we bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Wetin we carry for her. I said they never know wetin we carry for body. Ọ̀kìn lọ lọ́jà ẹ̀yẹ ìwúlò ló lọ́jọ́. Àṣìṣe ìrìnlẹ̀ bàbá lágara. Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣèṣirò. Ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀kọ́ adúláwọ̀. Ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé. Ilẹ̀ ilé àwa wọlé bá oko ilé wa wá. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé. Ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀. Àwa ní ìmọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri. Koiki Media, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ. Ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wà kájé gbígbá yín jẹ. À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ. News and sports, ẹ máa rí gbọ́. Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú ọlọ́rọ̀ mi ló ní kí n máa gé tẹ́tẹ́. Koiki Media, ọ̀rọ̀ lágbàjúmọ̀ mi. Má bá ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lọ. Ọmọ Yorùbá ni ọmọ Yorùbá tata. À ń gbádùn rẹ̀, ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú ọlọ́rọ̀ mi. Ṣé ìlú ọmọ fìdí pọ̀ tẹ̀ mọ́? Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ nígbè máa ń dè máde. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ nígbè máa wọ̀. Igbó máa wọ̀ dájọ́jì ògbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀. Àjèjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ̀ àtẹ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ bọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ náwó Oyinbo tó dé. Ìgbà tó yìnbó dé owó mọ́dá tó pọ̀ sí o. Koiki Media sáwà ní bàbá. Koiki Media àwọn ní bàbá. Àdáńtọ́ àtòkèrè rèé. Àwa wà létò lárugẹ jẹ́ ká jọgbọ́ o. Àtúnjà fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ọmọ Òdùwà ni wá o, tọkàntọkàn. Ikú tó ṣe bí lédè òsì, àdìmú bàbá yẹ. We bring you one closer to your doorstep. Afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ òòrùn kan gẹ́gẹ́ lára mi. Àpèrè dédé Olódùmarè ló fún wa. Gbogbo ayé ẹ̀gbọ́n, àwa ní bàbá wa. Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà yẹn wá. Òdùdúwà lágbèdá ní òtítọ́ lágbèdá ní. Àkìsọ̀dálẹ̀ àkìsọ̀níkèéta. Àdúrótán àdúpẹ̀rẹ̀gẹ̀gẹ̀. Koiki Media will bring you one closer to your doorstep. Koiki Media is around. Is around. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, Koiki Media is around.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This clip is titled Alleged Regional Government Bill in Circulation, if true, overtaken by events. A document alleging to be a bill submitted by Bola Tinubu to the National Assembly seeking to revise and to amend the 1999 Constitution and give regions independence from the central. In other words, going back to regional government arrangement. It's in circulation all over the social media. If this bill is true, and I hope it is true, my message is clear that
the bill has been overtaken by events. What the Nigerians need now is not regional government, but they want an... Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This clip is titled Alleged Regional Government Bill in Circulation, if true, overtaken by events. A document alleging to be a bill submitted by Bola Tinubu to the National Assembly seeking to reverse and to amend the 1999 Constitution and give regions independence from the central. In other words, going back to regional government arrangement. It's in circulation all over the social media. If this bill is true, and I hope it is true, my message is clear that the bill has been overtaken by events. What preponderance of Nigerians need now is not regional government, but they want an independent country of their own. Regional government belongs to the past. Currently, the agitation is for self-determination, for all regions, ethnic nationalities wishing to have their own country. Anything short of that is chasing the wild goose and will not pass the passage of time. I will not see the daylight. Indeed, what Nigerians are going through now, the way and manner we are being collectively mismanaged, we are being assaulted, we are being pauperized, we are being reduced into pitiable combustible materials, we are being reduced into beggars, into slaves by the Bola Tinubu regime is emboldening many of us who were formerly against breaking of Nigeria into smaller nations. We are now reversing ourselves. Majority of us, including myself, who was formerly against smaller nations out of Nigeria, is now fully committed to having Nigeria broken into different countries out of choice or out of compulsion, so that we can go and manage ourselves in our own way, in our own speed, in our own style, cognizance of taking into consideration our culture, our beliefs, our socialization, our meaning, if you like. We are tired of a central government where everybody has been made to become a slave. Everybody has been reduced, except the few who are milking the country high, empty, and dry, who are stealing our collective patrimony, collective resources, who are sending us fear and terror, who are deceiving us every day, every night, every hour, every week, every month, all year through. And therefore, those who are thinking that a bill to take Nigeria back to the are doing any favor, they are making the biggest mistake. That is not what Nigerians need. What Nigerians need is dissolution of Nigeria into smaller nations, out of choice or out of compulsion, in peace, not in pieces. Anything short of that will not see the light of the day, will not address the current challenges, will only be postponing the evil day. Enough for the wise. Hello.
No evil over. Call them by their name. Them be 200 million. Moo moo.
Oh yes, all the Afros. 200 million folks.
200 million. Moo moo. See them suffer them subsidy them. Nothing go happen.
Can do nothing. Everybody. Nothing. Nothing that anybody can do.
And my biggest fear for Dangote refinery is because even this one that he's refining, NNPC only supplied him about 4 ships or so. The rest of the 11 ships he bought it from America. That's for crude now. So essentially, he is going to still factor in the forex I used in bringing this crude in from America. That's number one. Number two is that will NNPC stop importing I do not think so, because NNPC said very clearly the other time that they will not allow monopoly in the oil sector, which means that they will most likely continue to import, crude fuel, petrol into the country, or then buy from Dangote and sell.
If you don't want monopoly, you have your refinery. Port Harcourt is there.
It's not going to work. They've postponed the operations of Port Harcourt refinery for 6 times. 6 times now.
We're living
6 times.
We're living a racket.
And guess what? President Buhari, former president, spent over 1.5 billion. In total now, the successive governments in Nigeria, they've spent over 20 billion trying to fix our moribund refineries.
Mr. Sheriff Quadri, if
yes,
Nigeria was a company on the stock exchange and you had knowledgeable shareholders, because you would have been declaring serious losses, what do you think would happen?
Declare bankruptcy.
And what do you think the shareholders will do?
Rape them, kill them, assassinate them. Waiting go happen. Then go shout small for internet, write speak English for paper, make him out for radio, analyze for television. But waiting go happen, nothing go happen. Now 200 million more. The labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain. One day, your pikin go ask Papa, Mama, wetin happen? Wetin do you? When these people they shop you anyhow? Shey you go come answer, sorry my pikin, I be Momo. One thing where I know, Momo no fit live forever. No evil go far. Call them by their name. Them be 200 million. Mumu.
Oh yes, all the Africans. 200 million.
200 million. Mumu. See them of.
Ọmọ Ìbàràpá lápapọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Akin ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ tilé tó kó ẹ̀mí àbọ̀ ẹ̀bá nǹkan mọ́ Adéyẹmọ Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho orúkọ ńlá tí ń jámọ̀ láyà bí àrá orúkọ tó ń dẹ́rù bo lórúkọ gan-an ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sùn o torí pé bùrà a kò lè fojú kégbodò láyé títa ríro lẹ̀dá ń kọlà wúrà tó máa dán alànà kọjá dandan o ọ̀wọ́n irin ní má bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ̀nà ẹ̀dá kan ò lè ṣì wá lọ́nà mọ́ ẹjẹ́ àfìmọ̀ṣọ̀ kan ká lè débi re ẹjẹ́ àjọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho ṣá ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nílùú Alágbàdo Òde ọmọ atapẹ̀tẹ̀ wọnú omi ọmọ gèdèlè wodò ìsànyà ò rẹ́ràn bàbá yín láàrin ìdí omi kò sínà ń kán sí yín lẹ́nu ọmọ òkúta mẹ́ta òkè Ìgbòho ìkan ń ṣe yín ní dábọ̀dàbọ̀ ìkan ní mọ́ rọra ìkan tó kù nígbà tí wọ́n ò mọ̀ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ kí ló dé Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ sí ọmọ òpópó sanran ìgbàgede Ìgbòho sùn wọn láláìsí bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ní kó ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó máa kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀sìn òní bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ bẹ́sìn bá bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho áfíkan pọpọ sí amúkan yòókù bọ sànyà àtúmúyà rẹ̀ tí ò lọ́rọ̀ gbọ́ àfiṣẹrù wálé wàrà mòjé ọmọ onílé ọlà àwọn àjòjì tó ń ṣe ségesège tọ́láwọn ò ní bomi kó sí mu wọ́n láwọn ò ní bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀ ìgbà tójú kò fi rí ńkọ́ gbogbo wọn náà sáré bomi kó sí mu wọ́n sì bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀ ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé ọ̀kan ṣẹ́ ọ̀kan tẹ̀ ọ̀kan tó kù ní gbogbo ayé ti ránṣọ kiri gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá Sunday Ìgbòho onírèlẹ̀ láéláé torí àbá lásán nìkan ń dá òkúta ò ṣe gbé fún wọn o ìmọ̀ràn lásán ni ti balùwẹ̀ kò pọ́sibú kó dòdò láyé ń bí ó kún díẹ̀ títọ́ domi láéláyé ìtọ́ mi lè domi Sunday Ìgbòho arógun má ti dí tó ń jà fẹ́tọ̀ Yorùbá ní tilé tó kó. ọmọ Ìbàràpá lápapọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Akin
gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ ọ̀dọ́ tá a jọ ń káàkiri ọ̀dọ́jọ́ ni wá ẹ má jẹ́ kí a fi àyè gba Fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ àwọn bàbá wa ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú ọba mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú jòyè mọ́ nígbà tá a la fẹ́ jà fún àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa táwa ń kọ́kọ́ ń bú ọba tá à ń bú jòyè èmi náà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí bọ́ mo pera mi padà ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú àgbààgbà kankan mọ́ ẹ má bolóṣèlú kankan ẹ̀rù kálukú ń bẹ̀rù wọn ò lè sọ̀rọ̀ ọba ò lè sọ ìjòyè lè sọ ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú ẹ má jẹ́ ká bá àwọn bàbá jà mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ á bú wọn mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ á ṣe wọn ra wọn ara pẹ̀lú wọn àwọn àgbà tó bá jó lóṣèlú tá a bá fẹ́ kọ́ wọn rẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ á gbé wọn mọ́ra á gbé wọn mọ́ra ni à ní bú wọn mọ́ ẹ má jẹ́ á ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ má jẹ́ á dàlúrú a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì ṣèjẹ̀gbọ́n a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì yìnbọn a lè gba ẹ̀tọ́ wa láì dàlúrú gbogbo protest mo ṣe ní ìlú Nàìjíríà mi ò rí ibi tí mo ti ẹnìkan lè sọ pé mo pààyàn tàbí mo jó nǹkan náà tàbí mo bà nǹkan jẹ́ mo lọ písù torí pé olówó lèmi náà tí ò bá sólówó lára ń dì mọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tọ́lọ́run fún yàn lọ́lọ́run fún mi mi ṣe tálákà tó dé pé mo dìde fún jà Yorùbá big man ni mi àwọn tó jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó súnmọ́ mi tó ní owó ní kí ni mo wá lọ bẹ̀ pé sọ́wọ́ lè mi mò ń fẹ́ ni kí n sọ yìí tí mo fẹ́ mo ní ìsọ̀rọ̀ owó àní ọ̀rọ̀ ìran mi ni mò ń sọ kí n wọ gbowó kí n gbéra kí n pé mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ ọba gbowó mò ń lọ ọ̀dọ̀ oníbodè òfin gbowó kí n kójó wọlé kọ́kàn mi balẹ̀ kí n dá wa mọ́tò kí n mọ́ rìn bọ̀ kí Fúlàní mọ́ dá mi dúró títì kí n délé kí bàbá sọ pé kí n gbé tírélà sùn kí n mọ́ gbé lọ àwọn bàbá wo lè lóko mọ́ wọn ò lè lóńdò ẹ jẹ́ ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ká ti àwọn bàbá wa lẹ́yìn ká dá security ti wa lẹ̀ ká sọ fún wọn kí wọ́n bá wa fọwọ́ tì í ká lé wọn kó nu oko wa ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ Jésù Olúwa wa.
Saying also, but we'll tell you more about all that in a moment. It's all coming your way from Star Radio UK. And Nairobi Archdiocese declines President Ruto's cash donation. President Ruto donated 600,000 shillings to the church choir, 2 million for the construction of the parish priest house, and pledged an additional, but they said they've rejected it. Why? They don't want any political affiliation, right? Okay, so more going to be coming your way from there. In Ghana, they got how many weeks more? About, call it 16 days more for the elections, the national election or general election that's going to be taking place. And how is it all going to be panning out for them? Because there is so much anticipation. People who are not sure what is going to happen. People are sitting on tentacles. But we'll be telling you more about all that. Did you expect former President Kufuor to endorse you? Akumia slams Alan and then reject one term. Mahama, he won't be accountable. Baumia to Ghanaians. Why wouldn't he be accountable? If the measures that he's taking is good enough, why not? Okay, well, they say that is what he is using to challenge the former vice president, former president, and the leader of the biggest opposition party. Now, Otunfuo paid his last respect to his eldest son. Story making the rounds there. Springfield and Kevin Archery, 1.5 billion barrels oil, well empty. That there's a report saying that. We'll be telling you more about all that. Okay. And then election 2024, forward election rigging allegation NDC has made. Well, we'll be telling you more. A policeman on escort duties shot by armed robbers after AK-47 failed. Hey, okay. Harvard graduate, legal luminary, and international diplomat, describing one of the astute members of community or society in Ghana, and we'll do our best to bring you that as well. Baumia, nowhere near Alan incompetence, Solomon Owusu is saying. And NDC will counter alleged election rigging in Ashanti region. Richard Japa is also saying there. A few stories making the rounds there in other parts of the world as well. Well, yesterday we had Putin of the threatening nukes, the usage of his nukes. Russian gains accelerating as Biden approves new weapons used for Ukraine. And Biden agrees to give Ukraine anti-personnel mines. And, well, in Hong Kong, Jimmy Lai denies swearing collusion in landmark trial there as well. And Haiti, MSF halts work in Haitian capital over attacks. There's so much attacks going on in the Haitian capital that is quite worrying. Well, we have the Kenyan troops there though, but we don't know what exactly is going on there as well. When it comes to the UK, higher energy bills push UK inflation up to 2.3%. Well, is it going to bring a corresponding interest rate increase, or the governor of the Bank of England will wait a bit to see how things pan out for us before, if there's going to be any increase? And eventually, I can say that there's not going to be any reduction in it. Yeah, a social media ban for under 16s on the table in the UK. Why not? What do you think about that? Do you think they should be banned for under 16s because they are easily influenced? Even the older people are influenced easily. So talk less the younger ones. What do you think about all that? Lots more going to be coming your way from there. It is all coming your way from Star Radio UK. But we're going to be having Mr. Oluwole who's going to be joining in to bring you all the updates that you need to know when it comes to Nigeria this morning. It is Star Radio UK, and as I did say, at 11:45, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions, whatever it might be. However, if now you have anything to say, you can put it on the platforms that we are broadcasting on, or the Star Radio UK platform that we are broadcasting on. And I promise you one thing for sure, I'm going to be sharing it. Or on the sister platforms that Yomi is controlling there, just feel free, just do so, and we'll put you on. But Yomi, it looks like we can't see you. We can't see you. So can you please sort that bit out?
Well, you can hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. It's only that we can't see you.
All right, let's try and resolve that from my end and see why the camera is not picking us this morning. There with us once again. A very good morning to you, Mr. Achi.
Good.
While we're trying to look into that, let us welcome all our viewers, and I might come back in just about a few seconds, Mr. Achi.
All right, then. Thank you. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Oluwole for you. He's doing his best to sort this out, and then we can bring him live on. So, interestingly, well, as I was saying earlier on, Boko Haram is attacked a Nigerian army base. Now, it's not been the first time. There have been several times where army bases have been overrun by terrorist activities and weapons, taken away and stuff like that. But with this one, it's quite a worrying trend, and I don't know how that is all going to be panning out. But hey, whatever it is, just keep your dials logged on Star Radio UK, and I promise you one thing for sure, that we're going to be bringing that your way. Okay, still we cannot see him. Maybe he's still working at it. He's still working at it. But it's time.
All right, let's see if we can switch things around. It looks like we're having difficulty with the camera on the other side. Let's see if we can pick it from here, if this is going to work.
Okay, let's see whilst Yomi is working on that. So as I did say, if you have a take on that, feel free to do so. Just share your take with us, and for sure I'm going to be sharing it with all our wonderful listeners and those who once a while go on the broadcast, maybe after the broadcast. I saw that lots of people go on even after we finish the program. Though they miss some, they'll go back to listen to it all. I'm asking about the rendition that is seen to be taking place in Kenya. Was it about a couple of years ago or plus? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned from Kenya to Nigeria. He was here in the UK. He just traveled there because whether there was a ploy to have him come into a meeting or to receive some money for the quest that they're fighting for, and then suddenly it happens that they just caught him, renditioned him, and took him to Nigeria. Now we have another politician, an opposition figure from Uganda, who is also in exile, living in Kenya, and is allegedly has been arrested and rendition to Uganda. Well, the Ugandans are saying, no, we've not done so. But I can tell you, hand on heart, that there is so much. The wife is saying so, and some of even his supporters, his party supporters, have even gone to the courts. Yes, the military courts or the military base, whatever it is, to have. Well, apparently they think that he will be brought there to the courts. But well, you want to know more, you have to stay tuned and don't touch the dial. Now we have the story pertaining to Dangote, who has also started, selling his products to the West African states, who will be looking at as well. But yes, now I can see Mr. Olayemi Koiki, so we're going to cross over straight to him, and then we can bring you all the updates. And let me say, Yomi, good morning.
Very good morning. I know we're still having a bit of glitch there, but let's continue because of our time this morning. A very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. And a good morning to all our listeners and viewers and those that are watching us from different parts of the globe. And this is the Wednesday, the 20th, 11, 2024, 6 minutes past 11 on the Star Radio UK network, where we're going to bring you all the news. And I know it's also the PMQ, so we have quite a lot, to catch up in the UK and so much to catch up on the other side of the globe as well. I'll come back again to you, Mr. Archie.
Yes, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Olayemi Koiki in our North London studios, Ecos Family TV, and all the crew there, we say massive good morning to you, and thank you very much. Good morning, my brother. Good morning to you there as well. How is the weather? Did you go to the school run? It's been quite nippy this morning, right?
Well, I believe the weather means that you turn on the gas more, and that means that, we're spending more on our electricity and also the gas. And most important thing is there's nothing we can do to the weather as long as we're still in this part of the European country, which some of us have lived for 3 to 4 decades. We just have to manage the situation as we find it.
Okay, so we are managing. If you are listening to us from Nigeria, are you also managing the hot weather and everything that is going on? The Nepa? Well, we will tell you more about that. Share your take with us. Now, Boko Haram terrorists have attacked Nigerian army base. It's not been the first time. And we know many a time when we have information coming through that some army bases have been overrun by terrorist activities and stuff like that. But this time around, the Boko Haram Islamic State West African province ISWAP terrorists have killed 5 Nigerian soldiers, wounded 10 others, and left 4 missing during an attack on troops in Gubwe local government area. Now, even if those who are the military, who have got all the arms and everything, are being overrun, what about the poor person in the community who has not got anything to protect themselves? Yomi.
Well, you're quite right. It is unfortunate that the Nigerian military continue to lose some of their military personnel, and the reason for that again is that the president is currently in Brazil for the G20, but back home, we are seeing more attacks that is coming through from these, terrorist organization known as the Boko Haram as well. Ambush is one of the most deadliest way of taking out, military personnel. But again, intelligent means that somebody is compromising, the Nigerian military to give information out. And some of the reason is because, some of the repentant Boko Haram are still working, in support of these, individuals. And that means that most of the military personnel get caught up, on their way to rescue mission or on their way out. And according to the information that we are getting from the director of the Defense Media Operation at the Nigerian Defense Headquarters, Major General Edward Buba, has confirmed the incident in a statement. And the good thing is, because there's so much information that can filter out quickly, and if the military is not also confirming it, that could be a big threat to them as well. Especially information needs to be put out so that we can clarify the situation. He actually stated that many of the terrorists were also killed by the troops in the deadly attack but the statement read, the coordinated attack saw 5 killed in action. That means 5 military personnel of the Nigerian soldiers were killed, 10 were wounded, and as we can confirm, 4 are missing in action, while the troops also eliminated several terrorists as well as recovered weapons. The question is, who is giving intelligence that this ambush eventually took place?
Now, it's quite a sad situation that seems to be going on. We know that the former army chief who died, was it last week or a couple of weeks ago? I don't know.
Lagbaja.
Yeah. I don't know whether he's been buried yet, and he's had his.
He has been buried.
Buried. Okay. Yeah, he's had his replacement there as well. And I mean, for the replacement, just to be welcomed by something like that means that either he's ill prepared or, I mean, whatever efforts that the government is putting in to help combat these terrorism activities is, I mean, falling short.
Well, it has always been falling short because there's compromise. When you're bringing troops to the war front, which Nigeria is currently facing, you need to equip them properly, and you need to be able to support them from the air. And, it takes us back to somebody like Oluwole Arutile that was also killed. She was the first Nigerian helicopter combat pilot. You need that support from the air. And it seems that something doesn't seem to be working. It's not the first time that we are getting ambushed. But again, in Borno State, the government has commiserated with the military over the death of the soldiers in Karato. This is coming again from the Borno State Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Usman Tar. Governor Babagana Zulum said the attacks remind the state of the callousness of the deadly Boko Haram terrorists. And on behalf of the government and the group of people of Borno State, it conveys its outward condolences. Again, what are the strategy that this government would do? I was listening to Ribadu, one of the security apparatus of this government, saying that Bola Tinubu is winning and is winning and is winning and is winning. But it seems that this winning is not literally materializing and is taking more innocent lives. The question is, how much longer are we going to continue to experience military being attacked through ambush? And again, like I said, it seems that somebody is compromising the military internally, and the military needs to vet out whoever this person is.
Well, listeners, Star Radio UK, Shemiyu Adeyemi, good morning to you there as well. We hope you are doing very, very well. Okay, now again, so far, has the military, apart from intelligence, that at times we have moles in there and are able to just take the intelligence out and then take it to, whoever is opposing the military or the terrorist activity, those who are involved in the terrorist activities, don't they know where these people are located, or did they come, commit whatever, and then just rush out of the country to neighboring countries or what? Don't they know where they are?
That is the job of the national security to be able to look into. When you're talking about a coordinated attack, there's no country in the world that is not prone to an attack. Right now, the UK is on number 3 when it comes to substantial level. That means, the tendency of terrorists attacking the UK is right there. The job then is for the MI5, all other security to work together to get the need out of these individuals. The difference between Nigeria is that, this has been going on for too long, and it seems that, things are not being put together. But, the National Security Advisor, and I'm reading from, what he said some few days back, Nuri Badu has warned the new Islamic sect in the northwest known as Lakurawa that their days are numbered if they don't desist from act of terrorism. Ribadu, who spoke at the opening ceremony of the Control General of Custom, a conference in Abuja on Wednesday, boasted that nobody dares President Bola Tinubu and gets away with it, insisting that the troops group had come at the wrong time. Insisting that the terrorist group had come at the wrong time when Tinubu is in power. The NSA vow that they will kick out of Nigeria. Well, it seems that they're not being kicked out of Nigeria. Rather, they're taking out the military and also taking 4 military personnel, just as many Nigerians have been kidnapped and paying heavy ransom for such.
Well, I would say propaganda there. Talk is cheap. Ribadu, come again. And we are all seeing evidence of what he was saying, and we see different things happening from there. It's all coming away from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's come to the next story pertaining to Dangote Oil Refinery. I mean, we are all wishing him well, because if his refinery does well, it will help the Nigerian economy. I mean, it talk about employment, talk about, foreign exchange, helping in that front and stuff like that, and getting the fuel prices down as well. Hopefully, keeping fingers and everything crossed. But it looks like Dangote Refinery has begun export to refined petroleum products to neighboring West African countries, a sign to traders that the mega refinery operation could soon potentially, see to, do more, shake up regional fuel markets, which is good for the sub-region. Okay, but the question once again is, how many filling stations are getting fuel from the Dangote Oil Refinery, from Nigeria first?
Well, Dangote Refinery, like you said, began export, but we're still having shortage in the country, and that is bringing the price up. So it's kind of, try to wonder how this plays out. I know Dangote is a private business, and they must have to find a way to sell some of those large quantity of the finished product that has been kept in his refined, refined crude oil that has been refined. Mm-hmm. But the problem now is, if Dangote is pushing this out, does it mean that the marketers in Nigeria doesn't want to patronize it, or maybe there's just extra that is pushing out? The Dangote Refinery is pushing this out. This is coming actually from the Bloomberg yesterday, quoting data source from Voterlex Caplex Pre-Sales Intelligence report that a shipping tracking platform said a tanker has hauled a shipping of gasoline from Dangote Petroleum Refinery to the waters off the coast of Togo, the neighboring West African country. The report says that recently loaded more than 300,000 barrels from the Dangote, and it is sailing through the west of Togo. Recall that last month, the chairman of the Ghana National Petroleum Authority, Mustafa Abdul Ahmed, said the country is also considering buying petroleum product from Dangote Refinery to help the country cut more expensive export from Europe, which the country is currently spending about $400 million monthly. And I can hear you talking about, the upcoming. Election. I could hear you talking about the upcoming election in Ghana. So quite a lot is being played right now, but it seems that Dangote is pushing his product to the other part of the African countries right now.
Well, it's interesting because, again, if his prices were not competitive enough, countries that are buying the finished products from other parts of the world will not buy his product. So why is Nigeria not patronizing it, so that at least we know that there is sufficiency, and then we can now sell the excess to the other countries as well? Expand whatever thing that we are doing. But that is another question. Let us hear from you. What do you think about all that? It's Star Radio UK. It is the Wednesday edition of the morning show. Now, whilst Dangote is doing his bet on that front, well, oil chiefs are not happy with me. Tompolo is saying. I think Tompolo was one of the ones who started trying to help government in bashing the. Was he even involved in the oil theft himself, and then later on decided to now be on the government side?
Well, it just shows how Nigeria, that is meant to be the beacon of the world, has ended up giving contract to individuals to help manage the pipeline. I'm not sure whether this is the same thing in Saudi Arabia, that individuals will be given access to the most important, part of their, economic, because anything that's got to do with such products and resources has to do mostly as well with the economy of the country. But it is Nigeria. People lobby for it. And if you're lucky enough, you might be given that contract. And that is exactly what Tompolo has been able to get from, the previous government, and I believe Tinubu, sometimes they're playing politics so that, because these individuals can also destabilize, the system, because the way the system has been structured. So Tompolo says, and I quote, even I'm trying to pick the news back, that apparently it seems that some individuals doesn't seem to be pleased with the job that he is doing right now, and it seems that they are attacking him. We know that there are many stakeholders that have always been likely to want to get such a juicy security contract, because you're guaranteed first that the government will pay, and you also guarantee of making out of whatever you're looking for to protect, because we know how this works. Because if it's a private sector and you can talk about protecting the pipeline, you might as well also be using that as another gain for yourself, and that has happened in the past as well.
It's interesting because I'm looking at oil, crude oil, being the major source of revenue in Nigeria at the moment. Is the highest. Now, so why can't government, again, somebody will say, well, look at the national oil refineries or the federal ones, nothing good is coming out of it. Virtually, they are just white elephants sitting and we are putting money in and we've not seen, and therefore maybe going security-wise, getting the private sector to be able to be monitoring and patrolling the whole thing would have been good. But the question is, are they also being monitored?
Well, that is, I've got the story right in front of me. Oil thieves are angry with me, Tompolo says. Who are the oil thieves? We have many of them. We have, foreign partners. We have local. We have, many people that just want to get their hands on that crude oil and get it into the black market. The founder of Tanitita Security Service Nigerian Limited, Chief Government Tompo Emma Ekpa Mupolo, alias Tompolo, says is constantly facing threat to his life by powerful people behind oil theft in the country. According to him, the oil thefts are powerful people outside of the Niger Delta. And I believe sometimes the reason why the government might say we're employing them is because they know the route very well. But then the question is, where is the Navy? Where is the other intelligence security that could protect the pipeline? It just shows how lawless a foundation that was never meant to be was put together. And like someone always said, I think, I talked about this a few years back, that the crude oil in Nigeria is the increment of the devil because it's not helping the people. Criminals are taking advantage of it. And we are seeing large containers that switch off their, signals, come into the shore, they're loaded and they're moved out. And if they're caught, rather than do investigation, they burn it out. So you can see that, we're talking about a system that is working. He was actually speaking on a working visit to, again, another good institution called the Nigerian Bar Association National Executive, where President Afan Osigwa to the oil-bearing community Tompolo called for synergy between the Navy and the security outfit.
Well, maybe if that happens, it will be good for Nigeria, and Nigeria will not need to go and borrow good money. Where good money is $50 billion, which will go borrow $50 billion, then that is good money. And that is being said by who is saying that a senator who is counseling Tinubu, saying that, well, go and get $50 billion, and then that'll be good money. $2 billion and stuff like that, they are not good money. Yomi, what do you say? What do you define? What will you define?
Who is going to give Tinubu the 50 billion? Tinubu was in, Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure whether he came back with any amount of money, even though, he has endorsed, the line of the Arabs, because the Arabs want a 2 states. So Tinubu is also playing that game along the line as one of the African countries supporting a 2-state country, even though on his backyard, the other 2 states that wants to exit is pushing them to the side. Borrow good money and invest in infrastructure. One of the biggest problems that we are facing in Nigeria today is infrastructure. And when you look at videos of farmers trying to get their product out of the farm, you will cry that most of them perished away, and because of the hot weather, and most of these farms do not have storage facility. They got to move these product out. We're talking about that. We're also talking about the insecurity. But if we have the money, which we had in the past, but was squandered, was stolen away. Allegation is still here with cases like Alison Madeke, Dizeni. We have other cases like Ibori. We have many cases across the world where stolen wealth that should be used properly to fund infrastructure projects for the last 6 decades of being independent has been squandered, taken out of the populace, and paying people 3,000 naira to vote for them so that they can remain in power. The lawmaker that is representing Ondo State in the National Assembly, Jimo Ibrahim, yesterday defended the federal government on the planned borrowing. Remember that we talked about that Tinubu is looking to get about some trillion, naira, yesterday. But it seems that Ibrahim, who was on the TV station, one of the media yesterday, currently the administration should borrow what they describe as good money. So we don't know which of the good money he's talking about, because many Nigerians also believe that there's so many evil money that is traveling from end to end. So whether it's the evil money he's talking about, or the good money from the World Bank, the IMF, or the Sunak, or also the news that maybe many people would be able to borrow Tinubu the money. He said, to be realistic, you need to borrow good money, not all these $2 billion. And I'm sure the reason you want money to be borrowed so that they can get their own kickback.
Yeah, why do you borrow 50 billion? At least some run into some people's pockets. But well, it's interesting, right? Ladies and gentlemen, Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It's now 11:27, and I'll hand over to Yomi for him to bring all the other stories making the rounds and what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. At 26 minutes past, let's take you straight to, yesterday, as usual in Nigeria, videos popped out and you start asking questions, what led to this? And we're talking about in the capital city. It's not good for, foreigners. It's not good for investors. So the acting COS has ordered investigation of a viral video of alleged brutality by the soldiers. I've watched the video. It's currently trending on the social media. A lot of reaction that the Nigerian military are not well trained like many other military around the world because of their abuse of that uniform. And some of us continue to ask that, why is it that when you are in that uniform, you are misbehaving, especially to the civilian, when those terrorists are there to be, pushed away? Most of these are not doing so. So the acting chief of army staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has now ordered an investigation into allegations of brutality on a man and a woman by the army personnel in Abuja. And I hope this time around it's not going to be swept under the carpet. Let's take it straight to the central bank, because when it comes to your money, you might lose thousands. It's happening around the world, especially when that message says, I wonder why people are still falling into that trap, but we must continue to say, if it's not true to be, just delete it. We get emails that says that, there's a business transaction, I'd like you to get involved. You are not in that business. I don't know why you want to get involved. But one thing the central bank is warning against: fake SWIFT messages. The bank also stated its readiness to involve in law enforcement agency to investigate, prosecute individuals making illegitimate allegation. The Central Bank of Nigeria has warned the general public to be cautious of fraudulent SWIFT messages, unsubstantial claims regarding foreign currency transfer allegedly withheld by Nigerian banks or the Apex Bank itself. The warning follows a surge in petition from private individuals, law firms, government agencies, and private entities claiming that foreign currency funds sent to their account by foreign entities have not been credited. In a statement signed by Akim Sidi Ali, the acting director of the corporate communication, these claims are often accompanied by fake documents such as SWIFT MT103 and SWIFT acknowledgement copies. Like I said, if you're not into any business and you're expecting dollar, you are likely to also fall into that trap. So be very careful, because Nigeria is a very tough place right now, and many people are looking for as many opportunity. We come back to one more news before we move further. Chevron pensioners protest over grievances in Lagos. Retirement is not death sentence. The last thing you want to say is, to retire, and you still have to now beg, to try to get, some of the money that is meant to be yours. Retirees of the Chevron Nigeria Limited, we're talking about huge organization like this, but it seems that it all goes in Nigeria. They stormed the headquarters of the multinational oil company in Lagos in protest against what they term grievances. I can see some of the placard here. Chevron pensioners reject CNCPF outsourcing. The retirees who were spotted carrying placard with different inscriptions such as, "We say no to dissolution of the CNCPC," which is Chevron Stop Discrimination Against Retirees. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Well, the Yorubas, the Biafra disagree with that, but that's another story on its own, because in as much as people want to believe that it's a sovereign nation, but all is still going underneath through the back door. Respect our laws above your policy. Chevron, treat us like other IOC. Be considerate for once, and others took turns to relay the unproved delay in payment of their pension, among others. Again, we hope that the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, will be looking into these so that those that are meant to be paid needs to be paid. PDP crisis, Damagum to remain chair, as the National Working Committee stated. Delta teenage locked inside the cage for visiting female classmate. Well, not too sure why that, but it seems that everybody takes laws into their hands in Nigeria. A 17-year-old Samuel Oyeme was on Sunday allegedly beaten, locked inside a dog cage for visiting a female classmate, Miss Anasita Celestian. According to the report that happened when Oyeme visited his female classmate at a residence around 6 p.m., the victim's mother, Mrs. Oyeme, told the correspondent on Monday that it was a better experience she received at the Celestian house. She said, "My son Samuel, a 17-year-old senior secondary school student of Redeemer International High School, Asaba in Delta State on Sunday, made a visit at the residence, but it seems that the son, after visiting discussion outside the house, Mr. Celestian, when he was brutally assaulted by the father and the two sons." Like I said, Nigeria have always been intimidated, especially laws are being carried out by individual rather than by the authority itself. Because of the time, I'm going to take us straight to one more story, and then we move straight to the social media this morning. And this one is coming from, again, we're looking into the story that is generating from the UK, but it has, a lot of Nigerians, background, and I believe crime is all over, regardless of whether it's in the UK or it is in Nigeria. And that story that we're going to be telling you in just about a few minutes, I want to pick that story back quickly. It's got to do with 4 individuals that have now been sentenced. They're students, and the UK court has now jailed the 4 Nigerian students over a street fight. The students, all in their early 20s, are receiving sentences range from 2 to 7 years. This happened in Leicester. No fewer than 4 of the Nigerian students in the UK were sentenced to the prison over their involvement in a violent knife fight in Leicester. The incident was said to have occurred in 2021, November 4th, on the New Park Street, leaving one of the victims with multiple stab wounds. According to the Leicester City Police Authority, identified the culprit through CCTV footage, phone tracking, public assistance. These 3 are the most key part that the UK government and many other Western world are using. But if you go back to Nigeria, many crimes can go a very long time and nobody can resolve them. There is no phone tracking. There's no public assistance, because if you report such a crime, you might become the victim again. So many people don't report crime, especially because they know that it might fall back to them, because there's no witness, support for them.
Yeah.
The CCTV footage cannot work in Nigeria since there is no 24 hours electricity. It is working on it briefly by people recording on the phone, like we saw yesterday when these army personnel almost killed these 2 Nigerians in their vehicle. So the 6-week trial was concluded in October, and the sentences were all handed down on November 14, and the detailed outcome was published. The student Destiny Ojo, Abib Lawal, Ridwali Rahim, Joshua David Ero, all in their 20s, received sentence ranging from 2 to 7 years. Destiny Ojo was sentenced to 7 years for violent disorder, attempting grievous bodily harm, and GBH with intent. Lawal received 5 years of similar charges, with Rahim got 3 years for violent disorder and possession of a blade article. David Errol was sentenced to 2 years for violent disorder. A fifth defendant, 22 years old Justin Asamo, pleaded guilty to possession of a blade article and will be sentenced in the next couple of days. According to the spokesperson for the Leicester Police, reportedly commended the public for their assistance during the investigation and stressed the need to tackle violent behavior to ensure community safety. This is exactly what many also want in a society that works. But as we know in Nigeria, all goes as we all say all the time, and we pray all the time that may Nigeria never happen to us. We go straight to the social media and see what is trending this morning, as again, many people are looking up to what will be the situation as the Biafra wants to make their final declaration or convention, whatever it is. But it seems that in the East, there's now a talk that it is time to release, Nnamdi Kanu. And this played out when, there was a burial ceremony of Andy Uba, when the former governor and the former, Okorocha, remember, was the one that had these, commissioner for happiness. I'm sure you remember him, Mr. Archie. Okorocha is now pleading, with the Senate president to give room to peace in the Southeast and speak directly. I'm trying to see if I can find that video quickly, to speak directly to President Bola Tinubu to please release Nnamdi Kanu so that there can be peace in that region. Whether the Senate president would do that or not, I don't know. But let's listen quickly to what Okorocha says.
Let it be known to all men that life is an inexplicable pattern of mystery, where no man knows when he was born and when he will die. And this notorious fact is deeply rooted in the fact that every man is created by God with his works, and the talent are the guides. For no man can grow above or beyond his destiny. For every man's destiny has a relationship with God.
Let's go back to that. Sorry about that. I think there was a...
Let it be with Ifeanyi Uba. Let it be with the Nnewi-born politician. Let it be with our brother. Let it be with the great philanthropist, the great leader.
I want to move it forward a little bit.
Of hate. Why do you hate one another? Ojukwu recalled his quarrels with Ekweme, and now they say it is vanity. Iwanyanwu recalled his quarrels with Enwerem, now they are in one place. And so, they are asking Igbos, may you embrace peace. Another thing that happened that is common with this great man is that before the date of Iwanyanwu made a plea to Federal Republic of Nigeria. Afenifere went to Villa and begged Nigerian nation. Ifeanyi Uba made a statement in the same line. I want to say to you, my brother, in whom I'm well pleased, Senate President, convey this one message on behalf of these Igbos who are seated, that the best way to honor this great young man is the release of Nnamdi Kanu.
And I'll just leave that as part of what is trending currently on the social media. The former governor pleading with the government to release Nnamdi Kanu through the Senate president during the burial of the late Senator Ifeanyi Uba that died in London, but is now been buried back home.
Wow. A very comprehensive one there. Shamsuddin, it's been a while. Good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, very well. But something happened in Kenya in Kenya, because as we ended on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's plea for his release once again, there is a Ugandan politician, opposition member, who I don't know whether he's residing in Kenya or not, but was in Kenya for a book launch, and he's not been seen since over the weekend, I think last Saturday. Apparently, the wife is alluding that he has been kidnapped and renditioned to Uganda. Now, my worry here now is, if anybody is having a problem, like we have what happened, like Nnamdi Kanu's case, and then we have Chief and everybody who the government were doing everything to stop them. And so I don't think Kenya is a place that people have to go that, in Africa is a very good place. You can go and chill or maybe have some meetings there. Do you think you advise people to go there if this is true?
Well, I mean, after the kidnap and the rendition of, Nnamdi Kanu, I will not travel through Kenya. Neither will I, advise anyone to do so. And also, as much as people might not agree with that line, when we get to a stage that the laws are not respected in Southern Africa, I mean, I was a bit concerned. I will not name the country. I had a friend that have just left Nigeria back to, to a base in the US, and she flew through in an African country, and I did advise her not to take that risk anymore, because some of these African countries are not stabilized. They could be coup, and most that carry foreign passport will be the one that will be used for bargaining. You're much better to fly through. I will not fly through certain African countries like Morocco because of their behavior to Nigerians, and many other countries as well. So Kenya is laying down a bad precedent for allowing that country to be used, for kidnapping and not allowing the judicial system to take place.
Well, listeners, it's quite an interesting one. That's why I was asking. Do you think Kenya has now got a new name, notorious for renditioning, kidnapping and renditioning? Let us know what you think about that. Yummy, before you go.
Well, it's a Wednesday, it's the midweek, and we're still here. I'll take you through the last part of the program, when I will be back again tomorrow for more news headline. Remember to follow us on the Twitter, X, and also make sure you add that notification bell on the Star Radio UK. And remember to follow us on our website, www.starradio.uk, where you can pick all the news. I'll be back again with you actually tomorrow. Have a very good morning. Bye for now.
Good morning and bye-bye for now. Wherever you are, I salute you all, and once again I say thank you very much. We are pressed with time, so we are going to zoom in straight onto the rest of the stories there this morning. So moving on straight to
Okay, now we're back here into our own broadcast. It's the first time you're watching me. Remember, this is how you can continue to support this platform financially, so that we can be able to do more. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa, tí ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ń rí wa, tí ẹ̀yin náà ń gbádùn wa, bóyìnbó ṣe ń gbádùn sìgá. A kí yín pé welcome to the broadcast from here. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ní gbogbo ibi tẹ́ ti ń gbọ́ wa. Àtẹni tó gbàgbọ́, àtẹni tó gbàgbọ́. Ìyàtọ̀ ni pé tó bá gbàgbọ́, tó bá yá ohun tó máa mú ẹ gbàgbọ́, wàá máa bá níbẹ̀. So àwọn fọ́ọ̀sì èèyàn problem ti ẹni tó bá náà gbàgbọ́ ní nǹkan tàbí dání. Kódà bí pásítọ̀ gbàdúrà fún ẹ, Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kí àdúrà yẹn gbà lórí Nàìjíríà. Torí Nàìjíríà ò gbọdọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́. So gbogbo èyí tí ẹ̀ ń bẹ Ọlọ́run pé Nàìjíríà máa ṣiṣẹ́, àwa gan ń bẹ Ògún pé kò gbọdọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́. Gbogbo tó bá dẹ̀ gbà la máa fún un. So mo kí gbogbo èèyàn wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i, and welcome back to I have just 1 hour today. Only not 1 hour ago. So at the back of the hour, and you watch it more. So I have to. Let me just bring my camera in quickly. Also, and then there's always something to talk about, and that's the good thing about media. We have a lot to talk about, and especially our Tanjaj and Barabai. I always have case study of different categories of problems. Ṣé tí ìlú bá ń ṣiṣẹ́,
That's my faceless. Ṣé tí ìlú bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ ṣé tòǹpólò irú ìtí Gani Adams náà wá contract nígbà tí Jonathan wà níbẹ̀ pé kó máa protect the pipeline. Ṣé private sector lẹ kó máa protect pipeline? A ní crude oil l'Ondo State. Tó bá yẹ pa gba àti ní country tiwa, a need anybody kó bá wa defend the pipeline wa. But torí ìlú jágbajàgba tẹ́ ń pè Nàìjíríà, mo kí ìyá àbèjì, màmá àbèjì ṣe gan-an mo kí ọgbà ẹ̀yìn àwọn lórí Instagram. So iṣẹ́ tèmi ni pé kí n máa rán létí pé Nàìjíríà ń ṣiṣẹ́. Problem ti ẹ̀dẹ̀ ni tó bá disagree pẹ̀lú kò dẹ̀ ní ṣiṣẹ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Kódà tó bá fi ṣiṣẹ́ gan-an àní jẹ́ kó ṣiṣẹ́ torí ìlú òfò ní Nàìjíríà, ìlú àdánù, ìlú tó ti ba ayé jẹ́. Tẹ́ pọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ló ń sunkún láàárọ̀ tọ́ọ̀rí nǹkan jẹ tọ́ọ̀rí nǹkan mu. So tí wọ́n kan bá wá ń sọ fún wa pé àmọ́ tá à ń sọ ẹnu ẹ̀ ní gbogbo àjọ wà, ẹnu ẹ̀ ò ní gbogbo àjọ wà. Mo rí ẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ easy. I don't have much to say right now. I just want to appreciate also and let's keep the fight going because lórí platform wa back to back ni and we are not letting anybody to distract us. So tó bá ń fara wé diaspora tó ń sọ fún mi pé Nàìjíríà máa ṣiṣẹ́, diaspora yàn ní wá sí Nàìjíríà láyé. No diaspora will come home now. Even though they want to take advantage of the naira and invest a lot. And to pay rally, and to pay calling, and to pay share business. Because you can make a lot of money now in Nigeria, especially if you're earning foreign currency. Baby, she earn foreign currency. Most of you are not earning foreign currency because your currency is not working. So, the most important thing I want to play is a support you. That's the reason why I just want to stay a little bit. So I need the water pop. Media on she Moke Yemi Fatoki, brother me, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ màá rí ẹ pẹ́. Ṣé rí media? Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ gbádùn media, ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ invest sí. Èmi ò ń ṣe blogging, mo sọ fún yín. Àwọn tó ń ṣe blogging yàtọ̀ sí ẹni tó ń ṣe media. Ojoojúmọ́ là ń kọ news. We want a lot of program to happen, but I feel Bisara Yoruba Nation because at some point, platform one will not be changed until we get to Yoruba country. Tabadele Leri, I don't pray that it goes that long time anymore, but that's subject to everybody to decide, not me. So it's up to you to say, Koiki, Nigba Olama Agba, Abati ready. So I don't want to come out and say, I'm a Jani gbogbo alamọ tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. And tó bá dẹ̀ níwọ̀n tí mo tó fi ṣẹlẹ̀, problem to you is not my problem. Because my problem is to educate, bring the conscious awareness to you, remind you that Britain ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ yín, ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ àwọn àtàwọn níbàá concept. So I wonder when some of you ẹ̀ ń wo àwọn British High Commissioner tó wà ní, nífẹ̀ẹ́ anybody, èmi lè sọ fún wọn nísàn èmi ti gbé pẹ̀lú wọn for 20, kò sí nǹkan tó lè fi mí ṣe. Láìtàláì sínú àbílà ìlàsílà ó wà. Mo ti gbé pẹ̀lú wọn, but ìwọ tó ò gbé pẹ̀lú wọn ni mo sọ fún pé this is a country that 15 years ni mo fẹ́ fi gbàwé. Ṣé tó bá yẹ pé ìlú tó dá ní Britain pẹ̀lú relationship ta ní wọn pẹ̀lú wọn as Nigerian tó jẹ́ kémi lo 15 years kí n tó gbàwé mi. So that alone shows that tí bá ń upset pẹ̀lú wọn tí mo ń bá sí fún wọn lójoojúmọ́ it's because ìyẹn lásán gan tó fún mi pé kí n máa bínú sí wọn. Ìyẹn lásán gan tó pé kíyàn máa bínú. So ìwọ tó wà Nàìjíríà èmi sọ fún ẹ pé èmi gan wípé pẹ̀lú wọn for 15 years. Ó mọ tí 15 years mi ni tí bá lọ sí yunifásitì lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta màá ti gba degree mẹ́ta in that 15 years. Kò tẹ́ ń ṣe nílùú ìdẹ́ pé tó bá lọ sí yunifásitì 3 years bam. So divide 15 years by 3 years. Màá ṣe masters, màá ṣe PhD. Èmi náà dàbí Elon Musk. So that means pé for the first 15 years wọ́n restrict life mi just like bí Nàìjíríà ṣe restrict life wa. But àmọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ àwa rí bàbá Akintoye bàbá dáadáa jẹ́ ń gbójú bàbá wọlé dáadáa ẹ jẹ́ ń yọ picture olóyè yẹn kí n kọ̀ra kí n reduce yẹn. Bàbá kan wá jáde bàbá yẹn wá sọ pé Britain gangan ni problem yín o ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá ṣe lọ́mọ Yorùbá wá attack wa. That for me it gives me headache. Pé Britain tí Koiki wà yẹn òun gangan ni igi tó ń dáwọ́rú o kò dáwọ́rú ló ń sọ fún wa 2075 ìwọ ọmọ tí 2075 jẹ́ ni 50 years èmi á wà ní 90 how old ni wọ́n náà but at the end of the day iṣẹ́ yóò ń ṣiṣẹ́ èèyàn kan iṣẹ́ gbogbo wa ni but role tí media fi play làwọn sọ pé kẹ́ support wa tẹ́yìn bá ti support role táwa fi play ẹ̀yìn fi tó kù lẹ̀ gbogbo tó máa fi gbọ́ wa tó máa fi ní understanding bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí ń yà wá Pastor Mo tabarẹ́ tó fẹ́ pè nọ́mbà nìyẹn kákọ̀ ẹ mọ̀ pa kò sígbà tá a ní ọ̀rọ̀ tá a lè sọ Don Kelvin mo kí ẹ jàre èèyàn ti gbowó ṣá so a wà ní UK adúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run lóòótọ́ but ẹ mọ tó ti ṣe fún wa ni àìmọye àwọn tó wà well qualified wọ́n ní fún wọn ní position yẹn a ní ká gbọ́ orílẹ̀-èdè ẹ wo ohun tá a kà lánàá nípa àwọn Jew ta ló ti rí audio yẹn how many people have seen that audio ẹ bá ń fi sínú comment section èèyàn mélòó lórí audio tí mo ṣe lánàá tó ti kàn yín lára ẹ ti gbọ́ no sport kan lè láti sọ̀rọ̀ sport ẹ wo intasọ lánàá pé àwọn Jew gbogbo population wọn lamẹ́ríkà 2% ni their population is 2% but ẹ wo itú tó ń pa ní Amẹ́ríkà ẹ wo itú tó ń pa ní Amẹ́ríkà ẹ wá wo intan fi technology ṣébi tíwà nísìn wàá ṣeré jàre Don Kelvin kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ mo dẹ̀ kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa náà lọ́tún lọ́sẹ̀ mo fi máa rí gbogbo kọ́mẹ́ǹtì náà tí bá ń lo laptop mo máa ń ní spare phone so mo fi monitor gbọ̀n kọ́mẹ́ǹtì náà àbọ̀rọ̀ bẹ̀yẹ nísìn bá ọmọ Yorùbá jà à ń sọ fọ́mọ Yorùbá pé a wà nínú ewu ẹ̀wọ̀n tí bàbá tí wọ́n bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ láàárọ̀ ìta kọ́kọ́ play ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí bàbá yẹn sọ àwa tá a jẹ́ landlord àti wá di tenant nínú ilé wa ẹlòmíì ò dẹ̀ wá upset ìyẹn ló máa ń yà mí lẹ́nu pa ẹlòmíì á tún máa blame àwa ṣé mi lẹ́ẹ̀kẹ́ máa blame ẹ lọ wo Fáṣọlá nísìn news kan wà ń bẹ̀ láàárọ̀ yìí gbogbo wọn pátápátá ló lè triple DRS mo kí ẹ jàre ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tí bá ti rí kọ́mẹ́ǹtì yìí báyìí mo lè mọ ẹni tó wà live pẹ̀lú mi mo kí bàbá wa Bashiru Ayan Jimmy mo kí Ọlámilékan Olúṣesí mo kí ẹ̀yin tèmi lórí Twitter Akéde mo kí ẹ a máa sọ̀rọ̀ náà ni ìyẹn ló ṣe ní sọ̀rọ̀ máa gbọ́ a máa sọ̀rọ̀ ká máa ti débi tá à ń lọ but a gbọ́dọ̀ ní action bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìyá mi Pastor Mo mo kí bàbá mi Ṣódàyìndé mo dẹ̀ kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin àwọn wòlíì Ọlọ́run tó ń pè wá àwọn òní kankan tá a máa fún yín ọkọ ìkì bọ̀ṣọ́rí ohun ẹ̀yẹn Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kó há wọ́n bá ń sàpò ní wọlé wa bẹ́ẹ̀ tó àwa náà ń ṣàdúrà fún ẹ àwa gbọ́n ṣàìsùn à ń ṣàìsùn lójoojúmọ́ fún gbogbo yín kò ṣèmi nìkan because the more ta ṣe ń jáde tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ó ń fún àwọn olóṣèlú ní concern they are worried pé kí làwọn gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ yìí kí la gbà lọ́wọ́ yín ìtẹ̀ gbà lọ́wọ́ wa ni pé a fẹ́ lọ mo kí bàbá mi Edward Ọmọlọ́lá Fúnṣọ́ àwa ṣe ń lọ sí ìyá wa kan nísìn àwọn ọmọ wọn báyìí ní Nàìjíríà mo ti post picture yẹn ìyá yẹn wà nílùú kan tí mo fẹ́ dárúkọ ọmọ wọn ti sọnù Nàìjíríà ọlọ́mọdé àsọnù ni problem tó wà nílé tá a bá tètè resolve ẹ̀ ọlọ́mọdé ká jẹra wa ní fresh the pain is too much pain in Nàìjíríà ti pọ̀ jù mo kí ẹ Ṣakiru Azeez the pain is too much ká dẹ̀ lè reduce the pain yẹn ẹ má bínú ẹjẹ ń dá mo ti move kìíní ẹ mo ti adjust camera mi now pushing block mo fẹ́ ká máa rójú bàbá wa dáadáa bàbá 89 years old kí ni bàbá yẹn fẹ́ so ìwọ nísìn as a Nigerian you are telling me that you know better than Baba Akintoye how so you want to prove to us that Baba Akintoye lẹ́nu tí yín kò mọ tó ń sọ torí mi ò gbọ́dọ̀ sọ pé bàbá ọmọ tó ń sọ. So you want to tell me that you know better than Baba Akintoye, that Baba is telling us that Nigeria cannot work. So you now want to prove. Kí ló fẹ́ prove? Ìwé wo ló kà? Exposure mélòó ló ní? Ìlú mélòó ló ti lọ lecture?
ìyẹn mo ṣe wọ́ndà Ṣòwòrẹ́ ṣé Ṣòwòrẹ́ ní knowledge ju bàbá Akíntóyè lọ ni tó ní the same set of people ló máa wá ṣe àwọn tó wà Nàìjíríà and that stupidity ẹ̀yin ọmọ kéékèèké àtẹ̀yin àgbàlagbà òfò èpèlè mi máa ṣẹ́ fún yín lójoojúmọ́ ẹ̀yin ọ̀dẹ̀ olórí burúkú ẹ̀yin ṣe ń sọ fún wa pé àwọn tó jẹ́ criminal nísìn ló máa wá jẹ gàba lé wa lórí tabadélẹ̀ lérí a máa fọ́gò mọ́ anybody lórí ni ìjà gidi constitution la máa gbé kalẹ̀ kò ń ṣe gbogbo ràkàtí àtọ̀nṣe ní Nàìjíríà nísìn wọ́n tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ní sọ another revolution la máa gbé jáde ẹjẹ́ àgbà Yorùbá nation tán kẹ́yìn wá sọ pé èèyàn kan tí ìbùkúnlẹ̀ amósù kò ní dá fún gbogbo wọn látòkè délẹ̀ wọn ò ní ṣoríire ẹ̀yin ẹlẹ́ṣẹ́ fẹ́ support Yorùbá nation àdẹ̀ nídìí gbogbo yín torí some of you agbọ́dọ̀ wọ yín débẹ̀ nítorí olórí burúkú ni mo sọ fún yín pé wọ́n ti fi oògùn wọ́n ti fi dè yín mọ́lẹ̀ oògùn wọn ò mú àwa mọ́ oògùn any one of them ò lè mú wa bọ̀ tí wọn náà bá gbà dáadáa tó dúró dáadáa kò sí nǹkan kan tó máa ṣe but a gbọ́dọ̀ sowọ́ papọ̀ báyìí ká synergize ká push one out wọ́n ní strength tó ń ṣe yẹn ìbọn ni wọ́n ń push àwọn army nísìn ọlọ́run kò forí jẹ́ àwọn tó kú ṣèbọn lọ gbọ́ ní orí news nísìn fún àwọn terrorist ambush ṣé àwọn terrorist wọ́n wá wà intelligent tó àwa ni torí pé àpé pa sùúrùtù tó tí tó sùúrùtù ni tá bá fẹ́ pa sùúrùtù tó sùúrùtù ṣé army tó lè bá Boko Haram jà ló máa wá bá àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá jà a ní àpé jà ká máa lọ olúkálukú lọ ṣèjọba rẹ̀ a ní àfẹ́ Nàìjíríà mọ́ mi ti jẹ ẹyin láàárọ̀ yìí nísìn ìjẹ ẹyin mo ti dín ẹyin kí tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ program ìfún mi ti lé tangi mo ti lo multivitamins mi ti bá sick máa lọ sí hospital kódà mọ̀ nídìí owó kí n máa lọ sọ́dọ̀ NHS gbogbo owó tí mo ti dá síbẹ̀ kọ́ máa lọ yọ́ bẹ̀ bí nǹkan bá ṣe mí pẹ́kẹ́ báyìí mo ní láti wá sórí social media máa lọ sí hospital wọ́n máa tọ́jú mi èlò ló ń ṣe MRI scan ní Nàìjíríà nísìn medical ló máa pa púpọ̀ nù yín ẹ má yẹ ká tètè gbéra lẹ̀ ẹ máa fara wé àwọn diaspora tó yẹ pé tí ọkàn wọn balẹ̀ ju kí ló wọ́n ilé omi ò ní wálé ìyẹn lọ sí ní support ibi ààrẹ sọ ni pé the more people we have the more we can push them back ìbọn lẹ ti gbọ́ nísìnyí pé Tinubu ló máa di gómìnà yìí ní 2027 ọmọ ṣe tiẹ̀ bàbá ṣe tiẹ̀ ọmọ náà máa tó wá ṣe tiẹ̀ jágbajàgba jógbògbò ó ní fídíò kan tí mo fẹ́ play audio ẹ̀yà rẹ̀ ká gbọ́ yẹn tó bá yá gbogbo apáta la máa mọ tó yẹ ká ṣe ṣé èmi ni kí wọ́n máa sọ fún yín pé a máa jà kẹ́yìn ò mọ̀ pé jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pa máa jà ṣé ẹ̀ ń gba freedom lásán ni wọ́n ní Mike Adenuga ò tí kù problem tiẹ̀ nìyẹn kí láǹfààní ẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹni tó ní glo kí láǹfààní ẹ̀ fún wa gbogbo àwọn ilé lówó lọ́wọ́ wọ́n fowó wọn wọ́n fi ń ṣe ìkà sílẹ̀ Yorùbá àbí jẹ́ ẹ̀mẹ́ tó ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀ bàbá tó ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀ lè Mike Adenuga gbogbo ilẹ̀ mọ̀ kí láǹfààní ẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá wọn lórí burúkú dédé gbogbo sòfin pa àwọn ilé ìfẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà pè ní ìbí wọn ní Babangida ló ń doni bí wọn dẹ̀ ló ń gbé Babangida ọlọ́run ló mọ̀ náà wọn lè ṣe lórí burúkú dédé ògùn máa pa gbogbo yín ni gbogbo ẹni tó bá dà nígbà Yorùbá nation ògùn máa pa yín ni tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ sí mi pẹ́rẹ́ àbí kó má dọ́dọ̀ mi máa ṣe program fún 3 weeks mo sọ pé mídíà tèmi a máa gbà sí fún yín lójoojúmọ́ ẹ̀ ní ṣoríire kí diaspora kan kó sọ ẹ bẹ́tà kẹ́ má dá sí ẹ̀yin ìkà torí wọ́n ti jápa ìjọ òròdé London tó ń sọ fún ẹ pé à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation tó ní kọ́ ṣọ́tọ̀ olùṣì torí wọn náà ti wà ní UK bomb bastard kí dá díẹ̀ ló ní UK ló ṣe ń claim UK gbogbo wọn ti dé sí UK nísìnyí wọn ti dé sí America wọn máa ní I have a right of owó lóní ó ṣe lọ ṣe right nínú abúlé ní Nàìjíríà kọ́fọ́gìmọ̀ ẹ lórí intimidation lójoojúmọ́ gbé kéèsì kan wá bá mi lánàá náà báwo lọ ṣe máa múyàn ẹtìmọ́ bì kan you má go into details of the case wọ́n dẹ̀ mú èèyàn ẹ̀dẹ̀ tìmọ́ bì kan títí dijọ́ kejì ṣé ìwọ lè mú mi kó tì mí mọ́bì kan tó ti bá dárúkọ too much ní sí wọ́n lè máa ní bóyá èèyàn wà èèyàn attack institution kan ní nǹkan ọ̀rọ̀ àfilẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ cases lójoojúmọ́ náà ń gbé wá sórí kéèsì wa bá wa Mr. Koiki ẹ gbà wá ẹ̀yin ní voice kí la máa ṣe báyìí mo ṣáà ti bá ẹni yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ láàárọ̀ pé nítorí ṣe yàn dá o ìtẹ̀ṣe yẹn ọ̀dà ẹ mọ́ ọmọ ọlọ́mọ ẹ tì mọ́lé títí dijọ́ kejì táwa bá dẹ̀ lọ nísìnyí wọn ní Yorùbá people ló wà attack wọn intimidation left and right lawless country ìlú yẹn lẹ fẹ́ kẹ́mi wá gbé padà pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ mi ẹ̀ ní sóríire ikú máa pa ẹni ìlú yẹn lè máa kọ́ àwọn ọmọ mi wá láti lóyìnbó ká wá jókòó sínú Nàìjíríà òfò yẹn kẹ́ lè máa intimidate àwọn ọmọ yẹn tó máa kọ́ àwọn yẹn lọ sí Ìjẹ̀bú nísìnyí máa intimidate wọn ogun máa pa gbogbo yín ni gbogbo ẹni tó bá ní Yorùbá nation ní bọ́ọ̀sì ogun máa pa yín ni ọmọdé ní àgbàlagbà náà ní sóríire àfi tó bá yẹ pé ìyà ò jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá ní gbogbo àgbáyé ṣé ìyà tí ọmọ ẹ sọnù nísìn ṣé kó máa sáré bọ̀ nílé nísìn kó wá máa wọ́ ọmọ ẹ ṣèbí pé kó bá rí ọmọ tọ́jú ló ṣe rìnrìn àjò tó rìn yẹn ẹni sóríire gbogbo ẹni tó ń sunkún lẹ́ni tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ń sunkún tọkàntọkàn pé yà ń jẹ wọ́n tíyàn kan wá ní pé yà ò jẹ wọ́n ìyà máa jẹ yìí tẹ̀ ń sọ pé wọ́n sunkún yẹn àfi tó bá yẹ pé yà ò jẹ ọmọ Yorùbá ìyà máa jẹ ìdílé ẹni wicked country ìpele máa gbà lórí platform àfi ṣépè tẹ́lẹ̀ a máa fún yín lépè nísìnyí gbogbo ẹ̀ politician mo ti sọ fún yín ìta máa ṣe fún yín àwọn kan ní máa sọ̀rọ̀ jù àbẹ́ kí ni kan máa wọ́n náà máa ṣe tá máa ṣe fún yín gbogbo tá máa ṣe mo ti sọ sórí social media ìtẹ̀ bá fẹ́ mú bẹ̀kẹ́ sẹ́ndẹ̀ sọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́pàá ní bíbá a máa bá yín pan tó tán lẹ̀ mo sọ fún yín pé bíbá lè ní gbé ẹ sẹ́ndẹ̀ sọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́pàá ní bíbá pé tí mò ń sọ lórí social media ni ẹ ṣèrè bí àgbà tí British ń bọ̀ kò ṣe ìbọn lọ́kọ́ wá láti wá bá wa jà bí àwọ̀ kó bọ̀n wá ẹ jẹ́ ká yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ àyanjú ẹ̀ a máa bá gbogbo ẹ̀ jẹ́ pátá ni mo sọ fún yẹn ní sóríire látòkè délẹ̀ ó ń súnmọ́ bọ̀ ní ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ rí bí páàkì plane yìí sí ni nígbà tá a bá ti jó gbogbo airport ká finá sí gbogbo ẹ̀ everything burn down everybody ò ní bá anything mọ̀ ẹ ṣí èrè ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń fa yìí mo sọ fún yín pé kékeré lẹ ṣì rí tẹ́lẹ̀ kékeré lẹ ṣì rí ẹ báyìí ká yanjú ẹ̀ ní kíákíá ẹ ká máa wá sórí social media ká máa pariwo a ti ṣọdún mẹ́rin pariwo ẹni tó bá gbọ́ nígbà tó bá gbọ́ pé airport ti jọ ní àwọn olójú airport ọ̀ ti jọ náà ni ìdá fún bàbá ẹ tí bàbá ẹ dé airport rí ó bẹ́tà ká bẹ́ẹ̀ jo kó má lè gbà tó kúkú ní travel àwọn tó ń travel tó ń gbádùn àwọn olùṣọ́ lórí burúkú olówó yẹn tó ń lọ tó ń bọ̀ wọ́n ṣe bí ìbò ìwọ ọ̀tẹ̀ rí kankan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ọkọ̀ dákẹ́ ìyà ń jẹ ọmọ Yorùbá lójoojúmọ́ pẹ̀lú gbogbo wealth ta ní nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kíyà máa jẹ wá pẹ̀lú wealth ta ní kò jẹ́ kíyà máa jẹ kò jẹ́ ká lọ sí anywhere ó yẹ ká jókòó sínú ilé wa ni ká máa form technology bí Israel bí mo kà fún yín lánàá ṣé kí n tútù ká ní ẹ lọ gbọ́ díò tí mo ṣe lánàá jàre ẹ já gbọ́ fídíò yìí nǹkan sẹ́ndẹ̀ sí mi lánàá náà sọ pé terrorist ò ní pààyàn òun láti pa sójà dànù ọ pa sójà dànù nígbà tí wọ́n máa kú kókú dànù pípẹ́ sọ fún yẹn náà ní gbọ́.
Akurawa, they came in as a radical and violent group with quote and unquote their own Islamic teachings and also their own Islamic ideology. And the unfortunate thing is that they don't have a very good understanding of the religion. Neither do they have an understanding of what exactly they want to do. And the fact of the matter is, the locals will tell you, they preach religion, they preach their own ideology and their own teachings, but they seem not to even understand what they are actually into. And what do we see? We see people from different nationalities. They are not, mostly not Nigerians. They are from Niger, from Burkina Faso.
These are not Nigerians. What's wrong with Wole? Àwa ní káwọn èèyàn jáde. Wọ́n máa pa gbogbo ọtán bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ yìí. Ẹja defend ara wa. Ẹ wá ní shut up. Má dàgbù sílẹ̀ ẹ̀yin wèrè. Ṣèbẹ́ nǹkan tá Hausa sọ nísìn. Àwa Hausa gangan leléyìí o. Àbí tí ń dún ẹ̀gbọ́n tó ń sọ. Ṣé mi ni mò ń sọ ilé? Ṣé rewind ẹ̀fọn kó gbọ́? Torí ta bá ń sọ̀rọ̀. Èyí tó ń dùn èmi tí mo ṣe ń sọ yẹn, ìyẹn lẹ máa mú dání. Èèyàn wọ́n ń wọ́n ní gbogbo wa pé ẹ̀yin Yorùbá dìde. Wọ́n máa pa gbogbo ọtán. Ṣòro pàmò ilé ìṣeré ni.
The fight against these people.
Ní sùúrù, wọ́n pa sójà lánàá. Tá bá sọ fún mi pọ́n pa 5 multiply by 5. 50 sójà ti lọ lánàá. Wọ́n ti pa 50 dànù. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ìyá mi ẹ̀gbọ́n mi yẹmi pàtó. Ògún kill all of them. Ẹ̀yin à ń pariwo pé wọ́n pa wá. Kí má tẹ̀lé sọ̀rọ̀ pé Koiki ó dáa àti ìfẹ́ Yorùbá nation. Bọ̀ pípa tẹ̀ ń sọ yẹn, a máa ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí. Ṣé wàá expect èmi kí n máa jáde kí n máa fọwọ́ ra wọn lórí? Àná ògùn máa pa gbogbo yín ni. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin politicians yẹn. Tóògùn ọ̀bá pa yín, a gbọ́dọ̀ jo gbogbo property yẹn pátá délẹ̀. Gbogbo property tẹ ní níbà àní ẹ máa bá wa lọ wá gbogbo ibi tó ní property sí ká máa mark it down iṣẹ́ tẹ́ kẹ́yìn kan máa ṣe nìyẹn ó jẹ́ kẹ́ jókòó sínú gúrúùpù kẹ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ òfò ẹ lọ ẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ wọn ibi tó ń gbélé lé ẹ mark it down tó bá jẹ́ 2 years from now ni àwọn tá a máa ṣe síbẹ̀ àjọ gbogbo ẹ̀ wálẹ̀ ẹ kọ́lé 350 million ebi ń pa àwọn èèyàn ẹ máa kọ́lé 1 billion kíní kan 2 billion tó bá jẹ́ pé gbolé Àbújá kò sí nǹkan tó fẹ́ àlè nílẹ̀ lábẹ́ Àbújá bọ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá gbogbo property pátá la máa jó gbogbo property yìí pátá la máa fi ná sí ó ń súnmọ́ bọ̀ ni ẹ rò pé kékeré là ń sọ ó ń súnmọ́ bọ̀ gbogbo property la máa fi ná sí ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹgbọ́n tá a lálẹ́ yìí sọ.
Akurawa, they came in as a radical and violent group with quote and unquote their own Islamic teachings and also their own Islamic ideology. And the unfortunate thing is that they don't have a very good understanding of the religion. Neither do they have an understanding of what exactly they want to do. And the fact of the matter is, the locals will tell you, they preach religion, they preach their own ideology and their own teachings, but they seem not to even understand what they are actually into. And what do we see? We see people from different nationalities. They are not, mostly not Nigerians. They are from Niger, from Burkina Faso, from Benin, from Mali, and other parts of the Sahel. But the most interesting thing about it is that, again, they don't even understand the language of each other. That is very clear. And in some part of Sokoto, where they operate, in this local government area that I'm going to mention, around Ilela, around Tangaza, Godu, Bale, Banji, Silami, down to some part of KB, particularly in Kangiwa, in Audi, and as we speak today, they are in some part of Argungu local government area. I think this is a threat, and a very fundamental threat, not only to Nigerian security, but to international security.
Only this is a threat. Ọmọ Yorùbá ọ̀dẹ́ rí as threat. Èyí tèmi sọ ló ń dùn wọ́n. Koiki bó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, wọ́n ní a ti wà nínú threat tí kò jẹ́ ká eliminate threat yẹn. Tó dìgbà tí threat bá wá bẹ́. Wọ́n ní a wà nínú threat. Eléyìí tí ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fídíò ilé ni kò ṣe màláfíà nílé yìí. Wọ́n ní a wà nínú threat. But ìtún máa ń ṣe wá ni pé àwa ń dúró kí kọ́ pa wá ká tó activate. Tó dìgbà tó bá pa gbogbo wa tán.
Also, it is an international threat. In my own opinion, the fight against these people requires a robust and elaborate operation. We don't actually need to engage in customized security operation in these places because they have entrenched the communities, they have gotten the acceptance on the part of the communities. And what do we see? Traditional authorities, even yesterday I was relating with some of them, they said they have no option. To send people with military grade weapons. You wake up in the morning, you see them.
These are people with military grade weapons. Àwọn ilé ìṣe ṣakabula táwọn bàbá wa ń gbé lọ sóko. Wọ́n ní these are people with military grade weapons. Ìbọn tó wà sophisticated. Kò ń ṣe the same language ní màláfíà sọ fún wa. Pé they have a sophisticated weapon. Ẹ ti gbàgbé fídíò yẹn. Ó wà lórí ṣé kí n pílẹ̀ kẹ́tù gbọ́. Pé they have a sophisticated weapon. If it's money, they have enough money. They don't need money. They have a very strong network. Ìyẹn ni wọ́n wá fi ń ṣeré. Ìyẹn ni wọ́n wá fi ó bẹ́tà ká tètè jẹ́ kí àwọn olórí burúkú politician kọ́ máa fi tí wọn kó bá wa. Bìkọ́ wọ́n máa pa gbogbo wa tán. Wọ́n máa pa gbogbo wa tán pátápátá. Ẹni tó bá lè pa ọ̀nà lọ sí exile. Wọ́n gbé ẹ lọ wà máa lọ gbé ní Benin. Ìyẹn ni wọ́n wá fi ń ṣeré. Ìyẹn la fi ń ṣe yọ̀yọ̀ là ń ṣe Yorùbá nation bẹ́ẹ̀ tó ń ra ẹ̀kọ́ àti mọ́ínmọ́ín lábúlé Ẹ̀gbá. Ìjẹ́ ká máa bínú fire up gidi ká bá nǹkan jẹ́ gidigidi ká tètè shut down south west kódà káwọn olórí burúkú politician ká má fi tiwọn kó bá wa. Ìwọ rí politician tó ń lọ tó ní sójà tó ní ọlọ́pàá tó ń tẹ̀lé pẹ̀lú ìbọn. Ìwọ fẹ́ dá rìn nísìn chances pé tó lè jẹ ẹgbẹ́ wà yes mọ́tò mẹ́ta lè kọjá lójú kan ó jẹ́ pé mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta wọn ní jí gbé the fourth car tó ń bọ̀ náà máa jí gbé ṣé ìyẹn la wá irú ìyẹn la fẹ́. mo kí bàbá mi Kúnlé Ṣítà I need the country bẹ́ẹ̀ náà 12:30 my end program mi I need the country bẹ́ẹ̀ òǹdókè kan sọ fún ẹ pé nǹkan ṣì máa wọ́ọ̀kì Nàìjíríà bàbá tó bí Sanwó-Olú gan mọ̀ pé kankan lè wọ́ọ̀kì Nàìjíríà olórí burúkú Sanwó-Olú gan mọ̀ pé kankan lè wọ́ọ̀kì Nàìjíríà olùṣe olórí burúkú bombasta ó sọ fún Alájà Adéyẹyẹ nígbà tí wọ́n ń ṣe campaign Tinubu pé kó máa bọ̀ nílé olórí burúkú Sanwó-Olú ẹni tó ti ní mental problem according to Ambodi. àwọn yẹn ló ń dúró kọ́ sọ fún ẹ pé Nàìjíríà máa dá ó lọ sí ní gbogbo àwọn governors gbogbo wọn pátápátá àti Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún criminal gbogbo wọn ló ń ta drọ́ọ̀gì Dúrójì Kàṣámú padà kúkú òfò náà ni Ajímọ̀bí kúkú òfò náà ni Akérédolú nìkan ló sọ pé kúkú dáadáa pẹ́kẹ́ tó kú dànù ikú náà ló máa pa gbogbo yín gbogbo property yín pátá la máa ti náà bọ̀ ó kù díẹ̀ ẹ ṣe ẹ ní ṣoríire ẹ̀yin fẹ́ máa gbádùn káwa máa jìyà àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Olúwaṣeun sọ pé they have a sophisticated network funded by Islamic states like Iran, Qatar, Turkey, Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen, Libya. àwọn tó ń kó weapon fún wọn nìyẹn àwa ọ̀rẹ́ ni kó weapon fún wa nísìn ààrẹ ni fún wa weapon tábà ní weapon ní tá à ń sọ ìkọlà ọmọ máa sọ àti bọ́ sójú títì rẹpẹtẹ ní weapon ni ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ jà tá a bá ti ní weapon ẹ lọ rọ petrol sínú ìgò ẹ là mọ́ bí tẹ bá fẹ́ là mọ́ weapon kàdé máa lò inú ilé ló wà torí kò sẹ́ni tó fi lówó kó weapon kankan sílẹ̀ nísìn owó ká fi ṣe awareness lásán àìtìrì jáde owó pé ká fi ṣe awareness ẹ wá ń dúró de kí Mike Adenuga fún yín lówó bàbá àwọn bàbá òfò yẹn Mike Adenuga ò fẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà kó pín àwọn ọmọ Babangida ni Mike Adenuga lórí burúkú ọmọ àlè bó ṣe tóbi yabayaba nígbà tí mo wálé kan ní àtó bẹ̀rẹ̀ movement àwa gba àdúgbò ẹ̀ kọjá wọn wá ní White House wọn ní Mike Adenuga mo ń tẹ̀rọ pé bí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì máa ṣiṣẹ́ pé bí a mo lè rí 30 minutes kò tẹ̀ àwọn tó wà ládùúgbò ẹ̀ kò fún wọn ní íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ọ̀fẹ́ ṣé àwọn èèyàn làwọn ilé àwọn olòṣì burúkú gbogbo wọn pátápátá àwọn olòṣì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni cocktail ẹ má lọ wá bó ṣe ń ṣe cocktail kó máa wá bó ṣe fẹ́ yìnbọn ìwọ tó ti mọ bó ṣe ń yìnbọn lọ wá bó ṣe ń ṣe cocktail ló ń pè lọ wá lórí social media.
At night, you have no option other than to follow them. And that is what is actually going on in these rural areas. If you take, for instance, our local government, you find quite a number of the districts. Koido taken over by these people, Shafazane taken over. Most of these areas are actually under the control of this terrorist group.
ṣé ó dìgbà tó bá gba ibi tí wọ́n fi orí bàbá ẹ̀ tó bí bàbá ẹ̀ sí ìgbà yín ló máa ṣẹ̀mọ̀ pé kó dá sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation ṣé ó dìgbà tó bá gba ilẹ̀ tí bàbá ẹ̀ tó bí bàbá ẹ̀ sí bàbá tó bíwọ tó ń wò mí tó ń sọ pé kí n ṣọ́tọ̀ bàbá ẹ̀ ò ní kúre torí inú bàbá ẹ̀ ò dùn pé èmi ń pariwo ó yẹ kó máa dunú ni torí bàbá ẹ̀ fi pariwo Nàìjíríà ò jẹ́ kó pariwo. mo kí àtọ́bí mi lọ́mọ ṣé ó dìgbà tó bá pa gbogbo atán wọ́n ní wọ́n invade territory to territory wọ́n gbalẹ̀ wọ́n ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé ó dà pé ẹ understand tó ń ṣe ni pé the more ilẹ̀ tó bá ń gbà the more they expanding wọ́n á lè train àwọn èèyàn tó ń yìnbọn wọ́n á lè ní opportunity láti ṣe so much níbẹ̀ wọ́n á tún move lọ sí another area wọ́n á tún gbàgbẹ́ yẹn ó tún di part of them títí táwọn afi gba gbogbo ti ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa náà ẹ wo gbogbo inú igbó wa pátá àlèṣeré ìyẹn lè sọ pé mo fẹ́ lọ ṣe hiking ní Ondo state nísìn ẹ mọ̀ pé nǹkan táwọn kan lọ ń ṣe labroad nìyẹn wàá travel wàá gbé backpack ńlá dání wàá máa lọ sí Australia wàá lọ ṣe hiking wàá máa wọnú igbó káàkiri torí wọn mọ̀ pé tó bá sọnù satellite máa pin ẹ̀ máa bọ́ bí tó wà ṣé mo lè travel nísìn kí n máa bọ̀ pé mo fẹ́ lọ sí forest reserve wà lóńdó state àmì ò ní ṣoríire wo tó bá sọ pé kí n dákẹ́ ògùn gbọ́dọ̀ pa ẹni potential àwọn àtàtẹ̀ lé experience oríṣiríṣi ká ṣiṣẹ́ lóòótẹ́ tíyàn ti mọ opportunity tó lè mọ́wó jáde mo ń wo news láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa ń play game mi ò like game mo mọ bó ṣe ń play ọmọ mi ní P5 èké àbí bí P6 lẹ́yìn tó wà yà rẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan wà nígbà náà mo rò pé mo tan tẹlifíṣàn rẹ̀ kí wọ́n á ní mò ń play game Minecraft ẹ ṣáà mọ Minecraft àbí ṣé Minecraft lẹ́yìn tó Minecraft wọ́n fi sọ di theme park àwa ṣì wà níbi ràkàtíà a ṣì wà níbi ebi ń pa wá ẹ fún wa lóúnjẹ o game táwọn èèyàn ń play wọ́n fẹ́ gbé wá sí reality wọ́n fẹ́ sọ di theme park tó máa dàbí àwọn amusement park ńláńlá yẹn bí àwọn Disney World nǹkan kan àwa wà níbi òfò àtàdánù a ní ká kúrò nínú òfò àtàdánù àwa náà kí inú máa bí gbogbo wa inú ò bí anybody torí wọn nìkan ti ń jẹ àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ tẹ́ ẹ ká máa wà very bitter lójoojúmọ́ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ̀ṣẹ́ òun lè kó jẹ wá ní igbá àyà tó rẹ̀ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá jẹ àwọn gọ́ọ̀mù nígbà àyà ó lọ ṣe níwọ̀n Ṣèyí Mákindé náà fẹ́ di gọ́ọ̀mù wo ó kù díẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún yín 2027 yẹn this time around ẹni máa kú ẹni máa yè ni lọ́dọ̀ tá à ń fà lọ́wọ́ yìí ẹni máa kú ẹni máa yè èmi ò sọ pé níyẹ̀ yìí o but before 2027 tó bá dẹ̀ pẹ́ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ níyẹ̀ yìí ilẹ̀ máa sọ fún apẹ̀ ti rẹ́dì tí rẹ́dì àwa gbọ́dọ̀ plan dáadáa this time around. Queen of Yoruba Nation TV mo kí yín àbí Queen of Yoruba TV channel ẹ ṣé gan ni àwọn ìyá dáadáa àwọn tó ní voice ẹlòmíì ọ̀tẹ̀ mo fẹ́ ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn Yorùbá Nation yẹn wọ́n ti lè búyàn jù wọ́n ti lè ṣe pé jù wèrè èpè tá à ń ṣe yẹn ṣé kò dájú bọ́ ṣe ń pa àwọn èèyàn wa lọ. I don't even understand why people are not paying nípa nǹkan tó ń lọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá nísìn àti gbọ́ ìtàn àti gbọ́ pé báyìí la ṣe ń gbádùn àti gbọ́ báyìí pé báwọn làbá mo wo bàbá mọ̀tẹ́tì wo èèyàn kan sẹ́ẹ̀dì ṣokòtì sí mi bàbá 130 years Guinness Book of Record lórí burúkú máa parọ́ fún wa pé àwọn bàbá kan wà ní Europe àwọn ọlọ́dàgbà jù lágbàá àìmọye àgbàlagbà tó sì ń bẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́yìn tó yẹ pé 140 wọ́n dúró ṣánṣán àtọkùnrin àtọbìnrin nígbà táà rẹ ní lọ rìkọ́ọ̀dì wọn a lè sọ fún Guinness Book of Record pé àwa náà láwọn èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n dàgbà evidence dẹ̀ wà ẹ lọ test egungun bàbá ẹ lọ wo ṣoko tí mo ti wo fídíò yẹn tán bàbá yẹn is 130 years old nígbà tá a bá tẹ̀ mọ value bẹ́ẹ̀ ni people are very selfish for our selfish làwọn kan wà ní Republic of Ireland tó yẹ pé wọ́n bá Britain ìjà gidi ni ogun gidi lọ́jà 3 years ni wọ́n fi bá Britain ìjà gorilla warfare èyí tí Simon Ekpa máa ṣe àdúrà tèmi ni pé wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ rí ṣe àdúrà tá a máa gbà fún àwọn because àwọn ò tí ì fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan kan bọ̀ àwọn Simon Ekpa tó fẹ́ ṣe agbọ́dọ̀ máa gbàdúrà fún wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí ṣe ó dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ rí ṣe délẹ̀ gbogbo ẹni tó bá wá sọ pé Simon Ekpa ní rí ṣe délẹ̀ ogun máa pa ẹni torí ìkànnì this time around this one no be 1967 68 69 ẹgbọ́n sókè.
And they are just like I said earlier non-Nigerians but the possibility of our local people supporting and joining them and accepting their ideology is actually on the increase because they collected this.
tẹ́ ìgbọ́n kan tó ń sọ màá play video ìpadà tí mo ní sọ̀rọ̀ ó ní àwọn local àwọn tẹ́yà ń jẹ wọ́n wá accept làkúráwá ẹ fún wa lówó àdára yín ìwọ ọmọ pa àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n ń join ní Boko Haram wọ́n ń join làkúráwá ní north ibo ló ń padà bọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló ń bọ̀ ìwọ wá náà ń kọ́lé òun náà ra mọ́tò òun náà fẹ́ yàwó ń bímọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tó sì security mo tẹ̀ wọ́n dà nígbà tó ní Ọ̀jájá ṣe Ọ̀jájá park mo ní níbo lọ ṣe sí wọn ní Ondo state Ondo tó wà prone to attack wọn ò ṣe ṣe sílé Ifẹ̀ náà pọ̀ náà ká fi ritual ká fi protect ẹ̀ níbẹ̀ àbí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn tẹ̀ yé mi Ondo tó pa Akérédolú lórí ẹ̀ tó ń protect àwọn ọmọ Ondo tó ń protect ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ̀ pé gbogbo bẹ̀yẹn lọ́fẹ́ gbà wọlé ibẹ̀ ní Ọ̀jájá park wà lọ wà ẹ ló advice yẹ ò ní lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn náà I don't understand how we think. Alọ́nkọ́ Ọ̀jájá park sí Ondo state tó ní security. Ṣé ọ̀ní máa gbé níbẹ̀ lójoojúmọ́ ni? Ọ̀ní ti padà sílé Ifẹ̀ nísìn náà. I don't understand. I don't understand. A ní àwà nínú ewu ẹni ẹ lọ ń ṣe Ọ̀jájá park sí Ondo state. Ondo tó wà prone to attack lójoojúmọ́. Tèbí ẹ gbogbo àlà ń rí Dangote truck tó ń bọ̀ táwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ní a ti rí wọn. Ẹ pa wọ́n náà ẹ má ní ẹ ti rí wọn ẹ pa wọ́n ni èèyàn máa ń pa terrorist ní terrorist òun ṣe pé máa wá ṣí òwà pẹ́ ti rí wọn tọ́ba náà rí wọn wá ní kọ́kọ́ wọn wá sàbújá wá tún dá wọn padà sínú igbó padà ṣé èdí tí mú gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ni Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn wa náà wọn níbọn ẹran ti Garba Shehu wọn sọ fún Akérédolú pé pọ̀ bí dá díẹ̀ dákọ́ra AK-47 fún wọn mad people all over the place ẹ jẹ́ n parí program because I don't understand ẹ jẹ́ rìn wáyé kí n má sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ gbọ́ dáadáa láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ again.
Akurawa, they came in as a radical and violent group with quote and unquote their own Islamic teachings and also their own Islamic ideology. And the unfortunate thing is that they don't have a very good understanding of the religion, neither do they have an understanding of what exactly they want to do. And the fact of the matter is, the locals will tell you, they preach religion, they preach their own ideology and their own teachings, but they seem not to even understand what they are actually into. And what do we see? We see people from different nationalities. They are not, mostly not Nigerians. They are from Niger, from Burkina Faso, from Benin, from Mali, and other parts of the Sahel. But the most interesting thing about it is that, again, they don't even understand the language of each other. That is very clear. And in some part of Sokoto, where they operate, in this local government area that I'm going to mention, around Ilela, around Tangaza, Godu, Bale, Banji, Silami, down to some part of KB, particularly in Kangiwa, in Audi, and as we speak today, they are in some part of Argungu local government area. I think this is a threat, and a very fundamental threat, not only to Nigerian security, but to international international security, and also it is an international threat. In my own opinion, the fight against these people requires a robust and elaborate operation. We don't actually need to engage in customized security operation in these places, because they have entrenched the communities, they have gotten the acceptance on the part of the communities. And what do we see? Traditional authorities, even yesterday I was relating with some of them, they said they have no option. You've seen people with military grade weapons. You wake up in the morning, you see them at night, you have no option other than to follow them. And that is what is actually going on in these rural areas. If you take, for instance, our local government, you find quite a number of the districts. Koido taken over by these people, Shafazane taken over. Most of these areas are actually under the control of this terrorist group. And they are, just like I said earlier, non-Nigerians. But the possibility of our local people supporting and joining them and accepting their ideology is actually on the increase, because they collect taxes, not only collect these taxes, when they impose
ó má dàbí movie ni wọ́n gba tax wọ́n ṣe kinní ní Nàìjíríà adẹ ní government àbẹ́mi nìkan ni mo rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àbí bí ẹbí mi ṣe ń react ni ṣá àwọn kan rí bẹ́ẹ̀ náà wọ́n gba tax kò yẹ káwa náà máa san tax mọ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá nìyẹn káwa san tax for now àwọn people yìí gba tax lọ́wọ́ aráàlú. Ìmọ̀ ti wọ̀lú. Mo wá fídíò kan tó bá mi rí tí bàbá wa kan ṣe tó ní ìmọ̀ ti wọ̀lú. Fídíò yẹn ti pẹ́ díẹ̀ báyìí. Mo kíyà mi, báwo ni ọjà yín ní níbo lẹ ní mákẹ́tì yẹn wà náà? Ọjà Òyìnbó. Mo máa ní kí fámìlì máa pè yín. Àpèlè àwa gbọ́dọ̀ ra báàgì ráìsì kan lọ́wọ́ yín. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin diaspora, mo sọ pé ní tó bá fẹ́ ra rice ká support ìyá wa inú ọjà Òyìnbó ló wà. Kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe ni mo ti ń rí wọn lórí program ọ̀ǹtìjọ́ tó pè wá lórí program, wọ́n máa ń wà lórí program wa kan frequently. I'm sure pé náà ọjà ló wà báyìí nísìnyí. Don't try láti survive. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ra rice ẹ kàn sí wa ká fún yín ní access sister wa. Mo fẹ́ pẹ́ lórí ètò torí mo fẹ́ dé store, fẹ́ dé local store wa. So but tá bá padà dé àwa continue. Mo kẹ́yìn tá wà lórí Instagram, mo ní lè padà wà lórí Instagram yẹn, a máa end the program yẹn. Elédùmarè wà pẹ̀lú wa, ká ní ṣe lásán. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ra rice ní ọjà Òyìnbó, tẹ́ fẹ́ fáwọn èèyàn ní ọdún yìí, àti òróró ni ẹ kàn sí mi ká fún yín nọ́mbà ẹni tẹ́ lè patronize. So mo yàn kó wọ́n ní disappoint nítorí wọ́n mọ̀ pé orí platform àyìn tó bá disappoint àwọn à ń báyàn kó lówó ọjà níbà ìbọn. For the fact that ẹjọ́ tó pè wá orí mi wó pè láwọn nǹkan tí mò ń gbọ́ lẹ́nu wọn, ó fún mi ní opportunity pé ká promote wọn lórí platform wa. Lọ́jọ́ iwájú àwa náà máa ní advert bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe lọ́dọ̀ Oríyọmí Hamzat, but reason that she face advert ni pé mo fẹ́ wà distracted too much pẹ̀lú nǹkan tí mo gbé dání. So mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Fídíò yẹn mo ti lọ gbé wá sí, mo fẹ́ gbé wá sí bíbá nísìn. so that kó lè wà lórí timeline wa níbí báyìí Boko Haram to ní máa fi pè Boko Haram 7 pé wọ́n ti pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ mi oríṣiríṣi Boko Haram gidi so ilé ìta gbọ́ tọ́ a máa gbé wá sórí software wa òun dàní sí Boko Haram ni mo fi ṣe ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ lélẹ̀ so fídíò tá à ń gbọ́ lọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn lélẹ̀ mo àmà end program in 5 minutes.
The Lakurawa, they came in as a radical and violent group with quote and unquote their own Islamic teachings and also their own Islamic ideology. And the unfortunate thing is that they don't have a very good understanding of the religion. Neither do they have an understanding of what exactly they want to do. And the fact of the matter is, the locals will tell you, they preach religion, they preach their own ideology and their own teachings, but they seem not to even understand what they are actually into. And what do we see? We see people from different nationalities. They are mostly not Nigerians. They are from Niger, from Burkina Faso, from Benin, from Mali, and other parts of the Sahel. But the most interesting thing about it is that, again, they don't even understand the language of each other. That is very clear. And in some part of Sokoto, where they operate, in these local government areas that I'm going to mention, around Ilela, around Tangaza, Godu, Bale, Banji, Silami, down to some part of KB, particularly in Kangiwa, in Augi, and as we speak today, they are in some part of Argungu local government area. I think this is a threat, and a very fundamental threat, not only to Nigerian security, but to international security, and also it is an international threat. In my own opinion, the fight against these people requires a robust and elaborate operation. We don't actually need to engage in cosmetic security operation in these places because they have entrenched the communities, they have gotten the acceptance on the part of the communities. And what do we see? Traditional authorities, even yesterday I was relating with some of them, they said they have no option. You've seen people with military grade weapons. You wake up in the morning, you see them at night, you have no option other than to follow them. And that is what is actually going on in these rural areas. If you take, for instance, Augi local government, you find quite a number of the district. Kwaido taken over by these people, Shafazane taken over. Most of these areas are actually under the control of this terrorist group. And they are, just like I said earlier, non-Nigerians. But the possibility of our local people supporting and joining them and accepting their ideology is actually on the increase, because they collect taxes. Not only collect these taxes, when they impose the taxes, they collect these taxes in cash, and they will also direct you. We are in so location at so point. We want so amount to be submitted or to be given to us, and at the end of the day, you will be the one to take the money. To the extent that in Arugungu, in Augi, in some part of Kangiwa, and even part of Sokoto states, around Tangaza, around Gudu and Silami, they have established a network in which this network serve as their agents. They impose levies on you, 10 heads of your cattle, they will say you pay 200 or 300,000. If you want to pay, we are in Juma Jimi, we are in Giragiri, we are in Raka, they will mention locations. And you see people submitting, collecting this money, paying to them directly. They even know where to see them. They have their agents, the motorcyclists, that actually take individuals to some of these places. So in my own opinion, it is a very serious threat beyond our imagination. And we really need a robust international community.
We'll come and talk about this video. Thank you so much for joining me again this morning. We love you. Moki Awasaka, Akim Usman, Pastor Mo, Queen of Yoruba TV, Omobolaji Abdullahi, Gabriel Alagba, and many of you, and those of you on the Mix LR as well. Shout out to you. Showore Times she already fall my hand. Then allow Baba Moki. All of them would die before we reach our destination. Make them they see as the film they play. Benny, film yẹn máa fine gan. Ògùn tẹ bá àṣà àròlé tẹ́ntẹ́n, ògùn tẹ bá mọ̀ ṣe, kẹ́ tètè máa lọ ṣe. Àdúrà tẹ bá mọ̀ gbà, kẹ́ lọ máa gbà. Ògùn yóò lè ran gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá kò possible. So a padà wá ní ìrọ̀lẹ́ pátápátá nígbà tá a tún máa wá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa fídíò tá a play. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ kan sí o. Orúkọ mi ni wọ́n ń pè ní Ọláyọmí Kóìkì tí gbogbo ìmọ̀ ní Kóìkì Media. Ire o, a tún máa ríra nígbà tí a bá padà wá. Mo fẹ́ play anthem yẹn ni o. Then we go. Thank you so much. Have a very good afternoon. Nínú ìlọ́jọ́ ẹbí ń pọ̀ náà. Gbogbo ìgbà kí ìgbà tá a bá ń lọ, Fúlàní ò ní jí wa gbé o. Nàìjíríà ò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa o. Ire o.